At the beginning of the story, Chu Laoma stood amidst a fierce battlefield, his life a tapestry of war, the sky stained with his blood. Unrivaled in his generation, he was nonetheless pursued by numerous great saint powerhouses. The pursuers raged. "Old Demon Su, you've committed countless evil deeds all your life. Have you ever thought you—" As soon as the words left his mouth, another bolt of lightning struck, illuminating the lone figure standing on the mountain peak. So Laoma's face was emotionless, his entire body covered in wounds. Blood dripped from the small sword. At this moment, someone called out his name, "Saw Ma Tu." He turned around coldly. A girl appeared in the distance. "Today you are in this situation. Does she have any regrets?" "She is Chi Mangai, the saint of the celestial palace, the cloud river wind, the wind master." Chu Lao Mo burst into maniacal laughter. His voice echoed through the surroundings, mingling with the rumble of thunder. He spread his arms wide and laughed loudly. "Regret? I, Suho, have not cultivated for 100 years, and my entire life has been spent in battle. This generation, except for this sovereign, who dares claim invincibility? Who dares claim to be undefeated?" The crowd below silently watched him. The old demon stopped laughing, his tone turning serious. "I only regret that time is merciless. If I had another 1,000 years, who in this world would dare not submit to me?" Chi Mangai pursed her lips and frowned as she listened to him. Moments later, she raised her hand and chanted an incantation. A giant sword materialized behind her. "You truly are unrepentant. Then don't blame us for being merciless." At that moment, they all charged towards Su Lao Mo, attacking together to take his life. Chu Laomo naturally refused to just stand there and wait for death. His hands formed seals, constantly changing, and it concluded by unleashing a perilous beam of light. Red, pink, blue, yellow, green, 5 streams of light converged on the old demon. Someone shouted, "No good, the demon head is using a secret technique. Stop him!" Su looked up at the powerful gods, Buddha, immortal ladies, and demon lords. The hands of the 3 deities converged. He roared, 3,000 worlds! The old demon bowed his head in a fighting stance, forcing himself to unleash all his might. A thick scent of deathly energy enveloped him. Though blood sprayed from his mouth, he gritted his teeth and smiled. A twisted smile, unrestrained laughter, and arrogant words shattered the immortal question of longevity. The great emperor regretted, but I did not. He knelt and plunged his sword into the earth. Along with a pained cry, a sphere of tremendous power exploded, blasting everything around it. The battle ended, the sword left only a blood-soaked hilt, a sight that haunted everyone. In the end I still lost. The group struggled to sit up, clutching their gravely wounded chests. Patriarch Chu Laoma had completely vanished. The one-eyed old man snorted. If he went to the Tianyuan city wall to slay demons, he would surely be a valiant general of our human race. He sighed a pity. Everyone stood up, the sun was high in the sky, their battle was over. But did you really think that Lao Ma of the southern clan would die? Returning to Taisu Holy Land, the scenery was picturesque, with beautiful mountains and rivers. There were 18 spiritual peaks. Tianqing, Yunhe, and Tianjian, the 3 great peak lords, were all great saint experts. The remaining 14 peak lords were all lesser saint experts. 1 month later, at Yunhe Peak, a red light flashed from within. Right in his own personal cave, Elder Su opened his eyes with a triumphant smile. "I'm back. Whether good or bad, Hugh, was a college student before transmigrating. Now that I've been reborn, I've already prepared 37,781 escape routes and 1,201 resurrection methods. With such thorough preparations, how could I possibly disappear so easily?" He stood up and looked around. "This is the Taisu sacred land? It seems I am fated to be here." The system's notification sounded. "Detected that the host has been revived. Please choose one of the following 2 options. The first is the Tianming Fan Pai. Just keep doing bad things and the system will reward you. The second is Go To Fan Pai, someone who has already been played once, has already suffered, and decided to silently grow stronger, and then do bad things again." He looked at the notification and pondered. In the previous world, he chose the Tianming Fan Pai, did countless evil things, and it was quite refreshing. Being beaten and cursed like stray dogs on the street, it's not a pleasant experience. So in this world, choosing to be a dog might be the most appropriate. So Lao Ma stroked his chin and laughed sinisterly. Quietly grow stronger, and then wreak havoc on the world, isn't that beautiful? If he could infiltrate a holy land and become a saint's son, then... He imagined a future surrounded by countless beauties, and laughed with delight. Instantly, he raised his finger and made his decision. "I choose the dog system. System announcement. Selection successful. Downloading. Joining successful. The old demon looked at the message board and ordered. System, display my personal information. Let's see whose body I am using in this world. He was stunned by the information. So he was a direct disciple of the Yunha Feng. His soul was so powerful that it forcibly took over the body and erased the original soul. He had the mundane aptitude and terrible luck. He was worse off than a mere chicken. Chu Xiu fell into deep thought. What the hell did the previous owner of this body do before I arrived? 10 days ago, back in the past, Suhu's tool, along with a fellow disciple from the Tianjianfeng, fought over a woman and ended up on the life and death stage. On the life and death arena, this person was defeated with a single move, utterly humiliated, and finally had their Luanhai shattered and cultivation base crippled. After assessing the situation, he could only clutch his head and sigh, that wretched man. Suhu decided to change everything. In consideration of your being my tool, if you hate me later, then it's me who should hate you. Just watch how I become invincible without fighting. Half an hour later, Suhu sat down solemnly to cultivate. He felt utterly powerless. This body was too weak, its aptitude too poor, its injuries too severe. A cunning smile appeared on Chu Xiu's face. However, I still have a way. Beyond the clouds and mists. A group of people were gathered talking. Have you guys heard? The sect master went after the mad demon and returned 3 days ago. Someone mentioned Suhu. Has that Su devil been killed yet? The crowd erupted in laughter. The demonic brat claimed to be the most powerful of his generation, but he was only at the Shaoxing realm. Surrounded and about to be killed by more than 10 dashing round cultivators. Good riddance. A demon like him, any one of us righteous cultivators could have killed him. In a nearby corner, Chu Xiu, hidden behind a tree, had overheard their entire conversation. A contemptuous look flashed across his face. You definitely wouldn't even dream of this. Not only am I not dead, but am also joining you. Can't beat them? Then join them, let's play a game. He suddenly appeared in front of them, feigning a cough to signal his presence. The group chorused. Liu Shihuing. Everyone respectfully bowed in greeting. Eldest senior brother, are your injuries better? Suo Xiu waved his hand. Yes, no problem. He whistled happily, and then left. Everyone was quite surprised. It seems senior brother Chu Xiu has the same name as Devil Chu. There's probably no secret between him and Devil Chu, right? You're overthinking it. If he had even a bit of old Devil Chu's cultivation talent, how could his cultivation base have been crippled? The other person agreed, finding the logic sound. At this moment, Liu had arrived at the entrance of Qimingdia's cave. He shouted from outside, Shizuan, Dizzy has a matter to discuss. Then, he calmly walked inside. Qimingdai sat on the high platform, looking coldly at Chu Xiu. 10 days ago, you were injured fighting someone. Now you come to me, do you want your master to teach you cultivation? Chu Xiu bowed respectfully and addressed his Shizuan. Qimingdai resolutely refused. Your cultivation is low, and you enjoy ruthless fighting. It's only right that you've been crippled. This seat cannot help you. Go back. He asked seriously. Master, my cultivation base is low, and you still don't know the reason. Without cultivation resources, how can I get stronger? He provides cultivation resources to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th junior disciples. He never says anything to me. How can I grow stronger? Hearing him finish, Qimingdai slammed her hand down on the table. Her hair whipped around her face, she yelled angrily. You're a dullard, you don't even try to cultivate, and now you dare blame your master? Don't you know right from wrong? Chu Xiu chuckled with his arms crossed. Is it not absurd that you deny me cultivation resources simply because my surname is the same as that old Devil Chu? Are you taking your anger out on me because of him? Qimingdai frowned at him. She said, this master has never been angry with you. You go back first, wait for this master to find natural treasures that can heal your wounds. I will definitely guide your cultivation path. He gave a sly smile and refused immediately. Master can't help me right now. She asked in surprise, why do you say that? He calmly replied, I've heard that your master possesses a heavenly aromatic body. Chu Xiu approached Qimingdai. If I can cultivate with you, master, I can not only heal all my injuries but also improve my cultivation aptitude. She frowned. What are you talking about? Chu Xiu held her hand and kissed it. His disciple was speaking, asking her master to cultivate together with her. The atmosphere suddenly became intimate. Qimingdai blushed, scolding. Naughty disciple, are you courting death? How dare you speak such nonsense before me? She raised her hand, and a colossal ice sword materialized. Today, this venerable one will cripple you and expel you from the sect. Chu Xiu put a finger to his lips, signaling for silence. He began to chant. Moments later, her sword shattered. Her legs suddenly lost their balance. Staggering, he fell. What's happening? I, a great saint, can't even resist this? Chu Xiu smirked. Shirzwen, you are too polite. Chi Mengnai panicked. She cried out. You traitor, what do you want to do to your master? His hands reached towards her, his voice a soft plea. I beg you, for your disciples' sake, please bestow your teachings. A brief introduction to the cultivation realm divisions. Below the Emperor realm, each realm has 9 levels. Levels 1 through 3 are the early stage, 4 through 6 are the middle stage, and 7 through 9 are the late stage. Chi Mengnai asked in a panic, what are you going to do, master? Why has my power disappeared, leaving me like an ordinary person? Su Xiu leaned close to her face, silently thinking. What else could I do but seal your cultivation? He gripped her chin, her face flushing crimson. That day, when you were pursued by more than a dozen great saints, I secretly cast the Samsara Heavenly Cry Parent-Child seal on you. This treasure, bestowed upon Chu Xiu by the system, silently seals designated female cultivators. Controlling the seal allows Chu Xiu to freely suppress their cultivation. As long as you strike, any female cultivator below the Da Di realm who is hit by this seal will be at your mercy. Touching her face, he was astonished to discover that even after several thousand years, her skin was still so beautiful. Angrily, she cursed, and I goo, how dare you be so impudent with me? Are you not afraid of being killed by me? Chu Xiu laughed provocatively. So, master, quickly kill your disciple. Stop threatening me with words. Chi Mengnai turned her head away in frustration, saying nothing. He whispered into her ear. Shirzwen, if our actions cause you to lose your cultivation and this news reaches Lu Shui, the Tianjian Peak Master, what do you think she will do? You killed her father, don't you think she will seek revenge? Chi Mingdia's face instantly turned pale. She was panicked. No, absolutely not, she couldn't let Lu Shui know. She would definitely come and kill her, that woman is a crazy bitch. Thinking of this, she immediately turned to him and pleaded. NID, I will give you any rare treasure or cultivation resource you want. You can choose freely, just spare her. Suahu clasped his hands on her shoulders, holding her firmly, flatly refusing. No, that's not all I want. My disciple, I desire more. Chi Mengnai stubbornly resisted. No, absolutely not. Her face flushed crimson, brows furrowed in a grimace. This venerable one, a majestic great saint, how could I be subjected to a mere insect like you? He scoffed. Now you're afraid? We had no quarrel in the Taisu Holy Land, yet you joined the hunt against me. Chu Xiu took out a book and slowly flipped through it. Master, please. This disciple has an ancient cultivation technique, very good for you. Please take your time to look it over. She was slightly surprised. Where did this brat get such a miraculous cultivation technique? This technique is compatible with the heavenly Tao. It's definitely not ordinary. The two argued again. Shirzwen, what's wrong? She yelled, get lost. He pinned her down, whispering. Master, let me have you. She was so furious she could barely speak. You little rascal! A moment later he successfully stepped in. Her whole body froze, and she groaned faintly. The system reminded the host that he had become a villain. Incredible. As expected of a ruthless person, a great reward of 1,000 breakthrough points. Chi Mengnai gritted her teeth, enduring the in and out of Su Xiu. The system notification continued to chime. Dual cultivating with Meng Dai Xianzi, injuries fully recovered. Dual cultivating with Meng Dai Xianzi, cultivation aptitude increased. Her hand clenched the bed sheet. His cultivation base is constantly improving. Reaching 317 heaven grade, cultivation speed increased by 20 levels. Host and Meng Dai Xianzi dual cultivated, cultivation level ascended to the 8th level of foundation establishment. Several hours later, the dual cultivation ended. Chu Xiu stood up pleased. Chi Mengnai lay motionless on the bed. His cultivation had reached the 9th level of qi condensation. The system's progress stopped there. He turned around and said, Thank you, master, goodbye. She muttered, playing with her fingers. I've given you what you wanted. Can you unseal me now? She huddled up, looking utterly pitiful. But he chuckled and said, Of course not. She flew into a rage. Nighty, do you want to kill your master? Su Xiu calmly turned and walked away. Shirzwen, if you don't want others to know that your cultivation base is sealed, you'd better hide it well. You know what this crystal of reflection does, right? He held a blue sphere in his hand. He looked at her with amusement, then tossed the ball in the air, playing with it. She panicked. What? You saved all the photos. Seeing her about to lose it, he waved his hand to calm her down. Don't get upset, Just keep it as a souvenir." As he spoke, he waved his hand and left. "Due to our long-standing friendship, I remind you, don't even dream of breaking the seal. In this entire Tiancong continent, no one except me can break it. Unless an ancient emperor is reborn. But you know, there are no longer any great emperors in this world. If my disciple dies, you will spend your entire life as an ordinary person, living until you grow old, and then die. Don't believe me? Just try it." Hearing Chushio's words, she trembled all over. He skipped outside, sphere in hand. "Also, if this disciple dies, and the image within the crystal sphere is transmitted, what will the entire Tiancong continent think?" Watching Suhui's receding back, she trembled and cursed. "You rebellious bastard, you'll die a horrible death. Despicable, hateful, a mere worm, unworthy of entering the palace, how dare you seal my power?" Chushio calmly walked outside. He crossed his arms and looked up at the sky, not expecting that when he left it was dawn, but now the moon was already high. "Thanks to my master's help, I've reached the 4th stage of foundation establishment. If I want to break through to the Will-See realm, I'll have to wait for another time." He propped his chin on his hand, pondering. If the Luanhai realm is like a wooden barrel filled with water, then the Zhuji realm is the process of accumulating the wooden planks. With a solid foundation establishment, opening the sea of consciousness will make it even more stable, naturally extending the cultivation path. The failure in the previous life was due to increasing cultivation base and breaking through the foundation establishment realm, leading to an unstable foundation. Chushio silently made up his mind. This time, during his Tron 2, Chongtu, major cultivation breakthrough, he would definitely establish a solid foundation. Once that was done, he wouldn't fear cultivators of higher realms. Even if he encountered them, he would slay them. Outside, he pondered restlessly. I wonder if the foundation establishment resources I hid in the ravine all those years ago are still there. Even if they are, how am I supposed to escape the Taisu Holy Land? Suddenly, Chushio realized the shop in front of him was the place to borrow Heavenly Ascension. He smirked. Isn't this the opportunity I've been waiting for? On the mountain, a desolate wind whispers. Suashio clasped his hands behind his back, standing on a simple wooden boat, slowly approaching the cave entrance. A moment later, he ventured deeper inside. Afterward, he stopped before a large tree. Hidden here, the resources should still remain. Chushio got off the boat and walked towards the rocky outcrop. He squatted down and bit his fingertip. Then, using blood, he drew the formation of a spell array. A red glow appeared at the base of the rock. A large, gleaming chest appeared. Suashio grinned happily at it. The foundation establishment treasures are all here. Just wait until I, Suashio, grow strong. I'll shake the heavens. Suddenly, he heard someone's voice. So Feiwu, didn't expect to meet you here. Sohu immediately turned his head to look back. A group of people arrived on another boat. Jiang Meng, the proud disciple of Yunjian Peak, said, "Who do you think you are? You are the useless trash, so I thought you were dead. I didn't expect you to still be alive after 10 days. It seems the Cloud Ripple Peak's Peak Lord treats this eldest disciple quite well, even willing to use precious resources to restore your Luanhai." Chushio stared coldly at him. 10 days ago, this was the man who had humiliated him and crippled his cultivation. This scum had harmed him since the beginning of his chi condensation stage cultivation, yet he dared to linger before him, adding insult to injury. Chushio stepped onto the bow of his boat. He brushed past them. Then, he said, "I'll settle the score with you later." 10 days later, the mortal battlefield, we shall duel. Jiang Meng asked suspiciously, "What did that brat just say? Did he hear wrong?" 2 men accompanying him clutched their stomachs, laughing uproariously. This, daring to challenge Senior Brother Jiang? He said he wanted to meet Senior Brother at the Life and Death Arena. Jiang Meng spread his arms, performing the 1,000-mile sound transmission. "Chu Feiwu, 10 days ago, I held back from killing you out of respect for the Peak Master of Yunhe Peak. If you seek a death match, meet me on the Life and Death stage in 10 days. Don't blame me for being ruthless." The crowd outside buzzed with excitement. This Sohu, how dare he step onto the death stage? Is his head broken? Isn't his Luanhai already crippled? How will he fight against Jiang Man, a late Luanhai stage cultivator? We'll have a good show in 10 days. A moment later, Chushio arrived. He ordered the boat to stop. Standing before the manor's gate, Sohu clasped his hands behind his back, pondering. The spiritual energy within Master's cave abode was abundant. If I cultivated here tonight, Master wouldn't notice. After all, what is mine will always be mine. Master is mine. Every single bit of it belongs to me. He walked inside, running his hand through his hair flirtatiously, trying to look handsome, and greeted. "Sherzuin, your disciple is here to visit you." Chi Mengdai looked at Chu Xiu coldly. Rebel, why are you here so late? What are you trying to do? Suvu walked closer and asked with a smile. Shirzun, what do you want me to do? The woman quickly avoided him. Don't push your luck. He stroked her chin, flashing a flirtatious smile. Disciple, I can be even more outrageous. Want to see? He raised his hand and chanted an incantation. A flurry of red talismans appeared. Form the array. Each talisman is placed in a vertical line. Then, they walked straight towards the door. He formed a barrier that engulfed the entire cave dwelling. Chi Mengdai looked in astonishment. Your formation technique, could it be passed down from the ancient Tao of formations? He confirmed straightforwardly. Master is indeed sharp-eyed. Do you want to learn? What are you willing to exchange for it? She immediately refused. It seemed that Suhu had anticipated her response. He calmly said, All right, if that's the case, this disciple will peacefully cultivate in seclusion. Right, if Shifu is hungry, then eat these. Anyway, now you're immortal, you can't starve. He took out a bag of apples and offered it to her. Chi Mengdai turned her face away. Isn't this all because of you, you rebellious disciple? Someday I will kill you. Chu Xiu had not even finished his sentence when he slapped her bottom, pushing her down. Chi Mengdai lay prone on the bed, angrily turning her head to look back. Chu Xiu said with a smile, Shirzun, you're being naughty again. Master, I've set up a killing array in the back hall. It's best if you don't enter. Your disciple still needs you to raise their cultivation level. If I die, this disciple will be heartbroken. As he spoke, he walked outside. She yelled, Chu Xiu. One day, this deity will hack you, you rebellious disciple, into 100 pieces. That night, in the back palace, Sahu meticulously studied the book. Item information, Xingxing Zheohua fruit, is a highly valuable item. Function, a sacred artifact that solidifies one's foundation. After cultivation practitioners use it, they can establish an incredibly solid foundation. Ordinary people who use this fruit will enter the Nirvana realm, and their lifespan will increase by 1,000 years. Introduction, it grows at the bottom of the heavenly weeping devil abyss. Every 10,000 years only 3 fruits are born. Once, a saint landowner used 3 sets of heaven-grade cultivation techniques and 2 sets of immortal-grade cultivation techniques to exchange for the Xingxing Zheohua fruit, solely to help their beloved descendants establish a firm foundation. Chu Xiu silently read the note. Called from ancient times to the present, throughout heaven and earth, the strongest cultivation method, a divine scripture, along with the creation fruit, aided by the system. From now on, in this Tiankong continent, could there be any cultivator with a foundation more solid than this sovereign? He held the fruit of creation in his hand. He opened his mouth and took a bite. A surge of energy instantly coursed through his body, circulating the Tao scripture, renewing the foundation establishment. The energy of life creation fused into his body, coursing through his meridians. A series of system notifications rang out. His cultivation level soared from the 8th stage of foundation establishment to the mortal stage. At this moment, Chu Xiu opened his eyes. The system asked, Do you want to break through? He immediately chose yes. The announcement rang out again. The system detected that you're cultivating the strongest qi condensation scripture, Dao Jing, increasing the breakthrough point consumption. It's estimated to be 1 week per month. 100 breakthrough points will be consumed per month. In the first month, you will consume the creation life fruit, begin cultivating the qi condensation scripture, and break through to the first stage of qi condensation. In the second month, you will consume the creation life fruit, begin cultivating the qi condensation scripture, and break through to the second stage of qi condensation. March, he swallowed the creation life fruit, started practicing the foundation establishment scripture, and broke through to the third stage of foundation establishment. September, he swallowed the creation life fruit, started practicing the foundation establishment scripture, and broke through to the 9th stage of foundation establishment. The terrifying pressure of the saints enveloped Chu Xiu. His eyes also lit up. People often say, 9 is the ultimate number, only knowing how to follow in the footsteps of those who came before. Little did he know, breaking through the limit was the way to a brighter future. In the midst of misfortune, there was fortune, breaking, and then rebuilding. Between life and death, there was a terrifying terror and a great chance. A series of ancient texts appeared along with a massive golden power source. The sight blinded everyone. 7 days later, the golden energy completely belonged to Suayu. He opened his eyes, a chill in his gaze. Overwhelming power pulsed all around him. The system's voice echoed once more. This breakthrough is complete. Host has successfully advanced to the 10th level of Juji, taking a total of 10 months and consuming 1,000 points. The host currently has 0 breakthrough points. Dark clouds filled the sky as a tsunami of lightning and thunder erupted from the cave. A storm was brewing. Chu Xiu roared breakthrough. A massive vortex materialized amidst the mountains. At Tianjian Peak, the girl stood there, speechless at the sight. Her eyes were fixed on the vortex. This is Lu Xue, the master of the Sky Sword Peak. Her brows furrowed in thought. The spiritual energy tide was too strong. Could it be that vile woman, Qi Mingye, had broken through? Back to Suvu. All around him was the yellow of the formation. Today, it was the day he would accumulate flesh and spirit to their peak. Today, he had to rely on his peak foundation establishment cultivation to break free from the shackles. Finally Suvu stood up. The result was in, confirming the host's breakthrough, from the 10th stage of foundation establishment to Luan High. He was quite pleased with the outcome. So easy to trigger the reward mechanism? Come on, let me see what the reward is. Suahu lightly turned around. Then, he charged directly into the heart of the formation. He was confident he could do it. The system cheerfully announced, host successfully completed the mission, reward mechanism activated. Congratulations to the host for achieving the Huanggu Xingti. Su Hu was doubtful. What did this mean? The ancient saint body. Note, the ancient saint body requires a massive amount of resources. The sacred body merges with the host. He angrily cursed. The system's announcement didn't stop. Merging successful. He groaned, pressing his forehead with his hand. Oh, I've already broken my limits, and I've spent a lot of energy cultivating. Now you're adding a wild ancient divine body in the Laolu system. What are you trying to do? The system explains. The advantage of the desolate ancient sacred body is its invincibility during the desolate ancient era. At the same level, it was humanity's strongest battle physique. The disadvantage is that after the desolate ancient era, the laws of heaven and earth changed. Cultivating the sacred body consumes an extreme amount of resources. Even if you squeeze dry an entire holy land, it's still very difficult to achieve success, easily causing stagnation in cultivation. System summary. The desolate ancient sacred body is now trash. Seeing Chu Xiu's discouragement, it quickly encouraged its host not to be afraid. Just do it. No resources? Then go rob. If you can't rob the old, rob the young, kill until no one dares to claim supremacy. As long as you convert the resources into breakthrough points, you can definitely become a saint physique. He still found it a bit hard to believe. An illusion? Who knows how many points he would need to break through in the future. The system displayed a personal information panel. Host Chu Xiu Realm, first level of Lunhai. Special physique, primordial saint body. Fortune value, -18 black, fortune slayer. Able to absorb fortune for personal use. Note, fortune influences fate. Those with strong fortune can become powerful even without cultivating. Overall combat power assessment, more than 19 times that of others at the same level. That sounds feasible, so Hu had no choice but to accept. Since he'd already merged with the Huanggu Saint body, he had to thicken his skin and continue his cultivation. He stroked his chin and chuckled mischievously. Good thing I have Master's treasure. Chu Xiu happily returned to his Cloud River Peak cave. At the Tiandian, Qi Mingye sat on the main seat. She savored the apple in her hand. A voice suddenly rang out. Delicious? She answered reflexively. Very delicious. Then she realized who it was. She frowned at the grinning Chu Xiu. Tui, what a little scoundrel. She turned away in frustration. Su Xiu approached her, flattering. Churzuan, it feels like 3 autumns have passed since we last met. He rubbed his nose, sniffing the scent on her. Then asked, Has Shurzuan not bathed in the past few days? Qi Mingye's face instantly darkened. She angrily rebuked, Didn't you occupy the back hall? I want to bathe but there's no way I can. Chu Xiu bowed and gently lifted her hand, feigning politeness. It is truly this disciple's fault. In that case, allow this disciple to personally attend to your bath. Qi Mengdai was suddenly pulled away. You scoundrel, what are you trying to do? She exclaimed. He smiled and replied, Don't worry, Shurzuan, I won't hate you. A moment later, in the bathroom. Mist swirling, Qi Mengdai was pushed down. Chu Xiu held her hands tightly, pinning her to the floor. As expected of a renowned beauty, even after days without bathing, her body remained pristine, smooth, and elegant. Hearing this, she blushed. You, scoundrel. He inhaled her scent. Shurzuan, it's all thanks to you. My aptitude is truly terrible. Let me scrub your back for you. Qi Mengdai turned away in annoyance. What a rebellious brat. Then she suddenly noticed someone outside the light. Outside the palace of Qi Mengdai, a young man stood before the entrance. This is Tianxing, the master of the Heavenly Sword Peak. He asked. Junior sister Mengdai, have you left seclusion yet? In the room, Chi Mengdai was cultivating with So Xiu, struggling to reply. Brother Tianxing, please understand I encountered some problems during my cultivation today, so I cannot go out to meet you. So Hu's system popped up, exclaiming. Wow, you're a real villain, host. But you're with your master, triggering a special reward, the Xian Bing by Shui Jian. She trembled and cursed at him. You traitor! Tianxing continued. Junior sister, I have a 7th grade healing pill specially crafted by Feng Dian. It can help you heal your wounds. Thanks to dual cultivation with Chi Mengdai, his cultivation aptitude continuously increased. Chi Mengdai trembled as she replied to the heavenly tribulation. No need, I'll recover after a few days of rest. Heavenly figure, a deal then? He asked again. Little sister, do you know about your disciple, So Hu, challenging Zhang Meng from Tianjian Peak to a duel on the life and death stage? I heard that this disciple is not learned, has no talent, and his cultivation is extremely weak. If he loses, I'm afraid it will affect the reputation of Yanhe Peak. She replied with a mix of joy and apprehension. I know about that, but I can't control him, so let him be. System notification. Host aptitude reaches 617 heavenly grade. Cultivation speed increases 25 times. Tianxing took out a flute and played it as he spoke. My junior sister must have her reasons. I'm being too nosy. This tune is called Phoenix Seeking the Emperor, composed during my recent moonlit nights. I present it to you today. The melodious flute music drifted into the room. After their dual cultivation, Chu Xiu contentedly caressed her face. Chi Mengdai angrily cursed him. You scoundrel! Just now I was talking to senior brother Tianxing and I don't even want to think about it anymore. How embarrassing. Chu Xiu chuckled. Chirfu, your boasting is so impressive, this disciple can't help but praise you. She immediately told him to get lost. Chu Su's face took on a sinister look as he smirked. Relying on our close relationship, this disciple borrowing some more cultivation resources shouldn't be a problem, right? Even his system exclaimed, Host, you're so wicked, planning to use one thing for double the benefit. She, finding this puzzling, turned to look. Chi Mengdia's cave abode inner hall. Seeing the number of pills given, Chu Xiu sighed. These are all 4th grade pills, and even 5th grade ones are pitifully few. Chi Mengdai said coldly, there isn't much more, unless you release the seal on me. Only then can I take out other celestial treasures from the storage ring. Su Hu threw his things into his bag, slung it over his shoulder, and waved goodbye. At least he had 4,000 top-grade spirit stones. That was something. Thanks, master. Chi Mengdai pondered, should she go and beseech the Holy Lord? Perhaps he could help her dispel the seal. But she felt this wasn't very feasible. What if the curse couldn't be lifted and that rebellious disciple sensed the danger and escaped? She slammed her hand onto the bed, resolutely refusing to accept this. So, was she doomed to be an ordinary mortal for the rest of her life, eventually growing old and dying? No, that was not the life of Chi Mengdai. Afterward, she took out a red-eyed fox mask. Fortunately, I secretly hid this treasure when I was playing with that thing last time, which helped me break the seal. It was also fortunate that he didn't search me, otherwise, this miraculous bronze clock would have been stolen by him. For now, I can't recover my cultivation, but I can still conceal my aura as a cultivator. As long as I avoid contact with others, no one will know about my sealed cultivation. It's not like I'm being hunted down by enemies. Holding the mask in his hand, Chi Mengdai pondered. To be frank, this mask was dropped by the old demon, so, when he was being hunted down. Sadly, that old demon So had only cultivated for a mere 100 years before claiming the title of Grand Master. If he had followed the righteous path, how could he have fallen into such a predicament? No more dwelling on this. She put on the mask. I still need to figure out how to escape this bastard's curse, or I'll be dependent on him for the rest of my life. In Suhu's cave, he also saw what she did. Master finally donned that bronze pocket watch. Truly not in vain was my hard work. He silently urged. Put it on. Just the thought is exciting. How else can this sovereign cultivate peacefully in the Taisu Holy Land, my good Shirzwin? Chu Xiu held the system's reward, the azure blood sword, in his hand. Although it wasn't a top-grade item, it was still far from being trash. With only 3 days left until the life or death arena duel, time was of the essence, and diligent cultivation would be of great help to him. Chu Xiu entered a sword cultivator's cultivation state. His soul escaped his body, flying away on the sword. System announcement. Congratulations, host, you have comprehended the Tao. Begin your quest for the Tao. His soul drifted from the cave. A series of altitude announcements echoed. 800 meters, 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters. Then, at 2,000 meters, Soayu continued to soar upwards like the wind. He finally reached the altitude of 9,999 meters. Soahu was astonished by the scene before him. Everything looked overwhelming. Red and yellow hues intertwined, a dazzling spectacle. This was sword intent. He was overjoyed and immediately began to comprehend the sword intent. Energy from between his eyebrows shot directly into the crimson pillar opposite him. Chu Xiu slowly accepted it. A moment later, he opened his eyes, his pupils shining brightly. The system is pleased to announce that you have successfully comprehended the sword intent. You have received the Heaven's Slaughter sword intent from the 5 great sword intents of the primordial master. He was quite satisfied with the outcome. Tianxia sword intent. This sword intent is compatible and complementary with me. Chu Su decided to retreat, returning to his cave to utilize the system to attempt a breakthrough in his sword intent. Once he achieved this, a single strike would dominate the life and death arena. At this moment, in the Zitaiso Holy Land, the Suo Peak, one could also observe that phenomenon. Taisu Zi, the Holy Master of Taisu Holy Land, sighed. Someone from Wankai Holy Land is searching for intent. How interesting. Looking closely, she discovered. That person reached a height of 9,999 meters. How is that possible? For 30,000 years, only the sword god Xuandi of the Endless Sword Extremity has reached this realm. Could it be that our Taisu Holy Land has also produced such a sword god? This is unbelievable. 3 days later, at Tianqing Peak, on the life and death arena. The sky was clear, the clouds were sparse, and the air was cool. On the thunder stage, people bustled about. Jian Lingyun, a direct disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak, yawned and sighed. Today is quite lively. Zhang Mang stood beside him and asked, Ling Xiao Shixiang, I heard you've made some gains recently, breaking through to the divine ability realm. Congratulations. Jian Lingyun calmly replied, Divine ability realm is nothing worth mentioning. He turned to the girl who had just arrived and greeted her. To Shirmei, I didn't expect to meet you here. I thought you wouldn't come to such boring places. She is to Tianjin, the direct disciple of the Tianjianfeng. This was caused by her, so she naturally had to come and see for herself. So Xiao and she also have a connection, she doesn't want him to die up there. Hearing this, Jian Lingyun was quite annoyed. He really didn't know what was so good about that trash Chu. Zi Shimi actually spoke up for him. Zhang Mang sneered, Sister, you're going to save someone who's about to die. The disciple next to him chimed in. With Chu Xiu's paltry skill, how dare he provoke senior brother Zhang Mang? He's practically begging for death. The crowd also joined in. Right, why hasn't he arrived yet? Is he scared? I don't know, why would Yun Ha-feng let this good-for-nothing be the senior disciple? At this time, Dao Yu, the 5th senior sister of Yun Ha-feng, also stepped forward. You look down upon others and take pleasure in mocking them. Is this how your Feng Shu taught you? The crowd instantly buzzed with excitement. It was Dao Yu, the 5th senior sister of Yun Ha-feng. She had also come to watch the competition. A chorus of her fans excitedly shouted, Dao Yao, senior sister! At this moment, Chu Xiu appeared. He stood coldly at the bow of the boat, looking down at the crowd below. Dao Yu ran over happily. Big senior brother! So Xiu also saw her. Little junior sister is here too? Tao Yao said, with Shimi here, no one can touch a single hair on De Shixiang. He gently stroked her head. Don't worry, my fate is not yet sealed. I won't be harmed. She still felt worried. 20 days ago, her junior sister had entered seclusion. Upon hearing about her senior brother's injury, her junior sister became very restless. So Ashio smiled and said, Your concern is appreciated, but this is not your fault. He turned around to look at the girl. Isn't that the goddess that young Master Ren has a crush on? She's alright looking, I guess, but her cultivation is nothing special. So Ashio stroked his chin, silently appraising her. Zi Tianjin looked at him strangely. Why did she feel that Chu Xiu had become a different person? Zhang Mang approached Ling Xiao and asked, Brother Dao Yao is here. Are you not going to make a move later? Ling Xiao replied, The life and death arena, a place for assassination, so what if he dies? Does Dao Yao really think he can control the heavens with one hand? Kill him if you can. Zhang Mang accepted the order with enthusiasm. All right, brother, don't worry, I will treat him well. He went out to provoke Chu Xiu. If you have arrived, then let us ascend the stage. After dealing with you, I still need to return to closed-door cultivation. Chu Xiu smiled and told him to wait, saying he still had something to say. Heavens form wind, life and death thunder. The battle of honor is about to begin. Soahu offered a suggestion. Brothers and sisters, it's hard for everyone to gather together to watch the martial arts competition, so how could we be without rewards? I have a bottle of 7th grade Heavenly Mysterious Pill here, a total of 6 pills, all of the highest quality. Why not have a bet? He chuckled cunningly. The system exclaimed, "Host, you're truly wicked, pretending to be a lamb while devouring a tiger, cheating the system out of resources and earning yourself 300 breakthrough points." The crowd erupted in a buzz. Could this be the legendary 7th Heaven Divine Elixir? Rumor has it that consuming this elixir could accelerate the rate of acquiring supernatural abilities, and there was a high chance of attaining peak divine abilities and breaking through to the lesser saint realm. Jianlingyun secretly rejoiced, taking the initiative to ask, "How do you want to bet?" "I just broke through to the divine arts realm a few days ago, and I desperately need these pills." "It's unexpected that you, the waste, are voluntarily offering this divine pill." Dao Yao was very surprised. "If the master knew that you were betting so much, he would blame you." Suo Shio stroked his chin, feigning thought, and said, "The value of 6 7th rank supreme heavenly mysterious pills, perhaps you all haven't quite grasped it yet. The elder of this Tianjin Peak, you must know, right?" Suddenly being called, the old man was slightly surprised. He coughed a few times before speaking. "This kind of pill is hard to buy even with money. If it were to be auctioned, each pill would cost at least 1 million high-grade spirit stones. 6 pills would be 6 million high-grade spirit stones." Hearing the price, everyone was astonished. Lingyun frowned slightly, wondering what he could wager to match 6 million high-grade primordial stones. Chu Xiu laughed heartily. "Don't be so uptight, everyone. If one person can't afford it, everyone can chip in. Then, we can divide the spoils based on everyone's contribution. Isn't that fair?" Seeing the logic in his words, everyone rejoiced. "Exactly, we can pool our resources." Immediately, a crowd of people clamored to place their bets. "I bet senior brother Chu Xiu will lose." "Me too. I'll follow that." "Me as well, Chu Xiu will definitely lose." Chu Xiu calmly said, "Not so fast, not so fast, everyone, your turn will come." Elder Tianqing Feng stroked his beard and looked over. "All good stuff." Chu Xiu was overjoyed. As he predicted, all bets were placed against him. He was going to be rich. He cheerfully announced the start of the betting. With Heavenly Figure Feng Elder as the referee, no one dared refuse. He nodded in agreement. A moment later, the match began. Chu Xiu leaped from beneath the spectator stands. He landed powerfully in the arena. Zhang Meng said arrogantly, "Chu Fu, you finally resign yourself to death." Chu Xiu's eyes reddened, his gaze icy as he stared at the man. "Come then. We're on the Xingxi Tai now. Life or death, it matters not." Elder Feng, with his celestial form, erected a protective barrier before announcing, "The duel to the death begins." Jianlingyun smirked, "The fun begins. Today, I've reached the peak of the 9th level of Luanhai. Time to deal with trash like Chu Xiu, a mere 4th level Luanhai." Zhang Meng was brimming with confidence as he circulated his spiritual power. Today, having reached the peak of the 9th level of the Luanhai realm, he would crush that good-for-nothing Chu Xiu, a mere 4th level Luanhai cultivator. Isn't it as simple as crushing an ant? He slammed his foot on the floor. He gathered his momentum and darted like lightning towards Suoho. Zhang Meng's Chan unleashed a powerful lightning attack, closing in for the strike. His foot pivoted, sweeping past Sohu. He gracefully dodged out of the way. Chu Xiu used one leg as a support, sliding swiftly across the ground. He leaped back a few circles. Zhang Man praised good speed. He conjured another bolt of lightning, laughing maniacally. "Take this. See how you dodge this." He unleashed a flurry of lightning swords, their sharp tips hurtling towards the target with terrifying pressure. A bolt of lightning flashed past Suhu. He swayed slightly and dodged gracefully. Zhang Meng's attack flew backward and exploded. The sword, still crackling with lightning, was plunged deep into the arena floor, causing it to crack and split. Tao Yao worried for Chu Xiu, praying for her senior brother's safety. The audience excitedly commented, Zhang Meng's attacks were truly vicious, each strike aimed at vital points. A prolonged defense would lead to defeat. Even with superior speed, Chu Xiu couldn't overcome his opponent. Excellent, Chu Xiu was sure to lose. Zhang Meng continued his attack, rushing towards Chu Xiu. His fist grazed his face. Chu Xiu clicked his tongue provocatively. "Come on, hit me!" Zhang Meng was a little irritated. This guy was like a loach, too slippery to catch. He couldn't keep fighting like this forever. He had to strike quickly and decisively. Zhang Meng pulled out a purple lightning sword from behind his back. One hand held his sword as he advanced, purple lightning flickering menacingly. As the sword neared, Suohuyo dodged to the side. He guessed, was he planning to trap him with sword chi? Su Hiu also drew his Qintian's slaying sword intent. It was a perfect opportunity to test out the feel of his new weapon. Chu Man's attack was easily intercepted. Suo Xiu nodded in approval. Not bad. Then he jumped back. Jiang Meng was overjoyed. This good-for-nothing finally revealed his weakness. He roared in fury. Die, you trash! He advanced towards Suo Xiu, his legs starting to gather force. He struck a powerful blow against Suhu. He grinned cunningly. Gotcha! I am a primal ancient saint body, even though I haven't reached the small completion stage, but in close combat, I can be said to be invincible at the same cultivation level. His hand spun the sword, moving nimbly like a gust of wind. He slashed across Jiang Meng, who cried out in horror. How could this be? Suhu turned around, blood spraying from his sword. Jiang Meng's sword plunged into the earth, and he fell with it. The crowd watched the results in stunned silence. Lang Yun clenched his teeth in anger. Damn it! Everyone found it hard to believe. How could this be? Jiang Meng had actually lost? A stage 4 Luanhai like Suo who overpoweringly killed a peak Luanhai. 20 days ago, wasn't Suo who stripped of his cultivation? What in the world is going on today? Elder Feng, with a powerful voice, declared. So who wins with the life and death thunder? The betters cried out in agony. My 3,000 top-grade spirit stones! Damn it! I'm never betting again! I lost a magic weapon! At this moment, Chu Xiu also unexpectedly spat out blood. He clutched his chest and sank to his knees. Dao Yu rushed over and called out to him. She worriedly asked. Big brother, how are you? So Xiu weakly said. Junior sister, help me to the transmission chair. She immediately agreed. While he pretended to be injured, he thought to himself. If you want to play possum, you have to play the part, don't let them see your true strength. His mouth was full of blood, yet he still smiled happily. Sorry, junior brothers and sisters, your magic weapons, pills, heaven-earth treasures, and spirit stones are all mine now. Dao Yu helped Suohu get up. Jian Lang Yun looked over. He was pleased to see Chu Xiu significantly injured. Don't be rash. Even if you win today, it'll make you cough it all back up. He turned to Chen Linfei, a direct disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak, and said, You're up next. Chen Linfei called out. Su Hu, wait, brother Su. He poked a finger, provoking, Dare to fight me a match? Dao Yu stood in front of Su Xiu, shielding him. Don't you see that Su Xiu Shixiang is injured? You want to fight again now, what are your intentions? Jian Lingyun interrupted her. Dao Yao, your words are a bit harsh. If you've reached the life or death juncture, it's inevitable that you'll be challenged by masters from various sections. Especially since Su Xiu just won a lot of resources from everyone in that fight, he had a bit of luck on his side. That said, it's understandable that many people might feel a bit resentful. Everyone is enthusiastic right now. Why don't we let Chu Xiu and Chen Linfei compete? The wager remains the same. If Chu Xiu wins again, everyone will be completely convinced. Let's see how you can avoid this. So, do you dare to bet? The eldest senior brother of Yun Hifeng, don't tell me you don't dare to bet? Chu Xiu looked at him with disgust. This kid is provoking me. He feigned misery, coughed up some blood, and said, I'm currently injured, and I'm only at the 4th stage of the Luanhai realm. To fight a 1st stage Xinqiao realm cultivator, it would be extremely dangerous. Therefore, the minimum wager needs to be increased by 30%. The system exclaimed, Oh my, host, you are truly cunning, insidious, crafty, and greedy. Achieving the system reward, 200 breakthrough points. Jian Lingyun chuckled slyly and agreed. Of course, greed without strength is the root of all evil. If you want to die, don't blame me. Tianjin sighed. This Chu Xiu, doesn't he know when to stop? So Xiu happily pulled, Come on, come here, watch So Xiu fight for life and death with this lightning. Everyone, do you want to get your money back or not? Do you want to flip or not? One more round, give yourself a chance to get rich. The crowd surged forward, placing their bets. This time, they were betting Natsu who would lose against Xinqiao. He was just in a major battle, his body was weak. Bet everything. Su Hu will surely lose. Seeing this, Chu Xiu was secretly delighted. My dear brothers, my wealth depends entirely on you all. After a while, the voice of the Tianxing Feng elder boomed. The life and death thunder battle between Suo Hu and Chen Linfei officially begins. Dao Yu clasped her hands nervously. Senior brother, are you sure? Su Hu said to her with a smile. Don't worry. Chen Linfei looked at Su Xiu arrogantly. I didn't want to fight you on stage, but I have my own troubles. Su Xiu asked curiously. What troubles? Chen Linfei calmly said, My junior sister was critically injured while on a mission. She needs an extremely rare heavenly treasure to save her life, and senior brother Lingyun happens to possess it. For a shimmy, I must fight for Lingyun. At this point, I can only apologize to you. After all, blades are merciless. If you die, don't hate me. Chu Xiu remarked that this story is quite touching. Then his voice changed, his power surging. But sorry, if you've already stepped onto the stage of life and death, then you should just forget about life and death. He moved like a whirlwind, then leaped to attack Chen Linfei from behind. With a whoosh, the blade sliced across the target. Chen Linfei angrily roared, "You dare sneak attack me!" Before he could catch his breath, Su Hu, sword in hand, appeared beside him. "I'll take care of your junior sister for you. Go in peace." Suo Xiu attacked decisively, a single thrust piercing his heart. Chen Linfei's sword fell from his hand. Suo Hu drew his sword. Before the blood had dried, his hand unleashed another blow. Chen Linfei was struck by a force like a raging storm, sending him flying backward. Chen Linfei slammed into the barrier, startling the few people standing nearby. Chen Linfei's face was twisted and contorted, blood still dripping from his nose. Remember, villains die from talking too much. So I don't like to talk nonsense. Suo Xiu coldly sheathed his sword and said his last words to him. Everyone's eyes widened in astonishment at the outcome of the match. How is this possible? So Hugh is only at the 4th stage of the One High Realm, yet it feels as though he's crushing Tran Van Phi, leaving the latter with no chance to fight back. The move So Hugh just used, the Xian Pin body technique called Flowing Shadow, which cultivates 7 residual images, has reached its peak. The gamblers felt their spirits crushed, their lives ruined. I lost again. This time I've lost everything, even my wealth. I wish I hadn't bet. I just borrowed 10,000 top-grade spirit stones, and now they're all gone. This is awful. Tao Yao ran over to praise him. Big senior brother, you're so amazing. Su Xiu modestly replied, it's nothing worth mentioning. He cheerfully collected the spoils of war. Not bad, not bad. A perfect day indeed. He even asked his junior sister for help. Oh my god, his spatial storage pouch is full. Is his junior sister free? The others were all pale with fright when they saw this. Dao Yu happily agreed. Of course there is, big senior brother, just leave it to me. She tossed her storage pouch to him. Senior brother, just take it and use it, don't be polite. Thank you, little junior sister. Senior brother, just take it and use it, don't be so polite. Suo Xiu turned to tempt the crowd watching. This top-grade Tianxian pill smells so good, surely you all want it. Some people spat blood in anger. They shouted, please be human. You're not here to fight, you're here to surrender. Chu Xiu sighed and stopped his invitation. In that case, senior brother, you can leave now. He waved his hand. Summon my boat. The system commented from the side. Host, you really are both ugly and cheap. No wonder you were born to be a villain. Congratulations on obtaining the reward system, 200 breakthrough points. Dao Yu furrowed her brows and asked him. Big brother, did you offend Jian Lingyun today? This man is cunning and scheming, you must be careful of him and never underestimate him. Jian Lingyun's face darkened. Suo Xiu listened calmly. In Chu Xiu's cave dwelling, a pile of gold, silver, and jewels littered the floor. This time, the total winnings amounted to 16 million yuan worth of items. Who knows how many breakthrough points this could be exchanged for? He pulled out a saber from the pile. Chu Xiu exchanged his late-stage nascent soul knife with the system, spending Junior's character points gaining 1 breakthrough point. Hearing this, he was slightly angry. Just 1 point? Is this right? Is the system malfunctioning? Last time he spent his equipment character points, he gained 5 breakthrough points. How come it became 1 this time? The system chuckled, saying, as the host's cultivation level increases, the breakthrough points consumed will also increase, but the breakthrough points also have qualitative differences. If the host relies on low-quality items to accumulate breakthrough points, then I can only say sorry. Moreover, raw stones cannot be directly exchanged for breakthrough points. Don't ask, asking means I don't want to calculate the rate. The more I listened, the angrier I got. I cursed under my breath, you damn dog. Chu Xiu stroked his chin thoughtfully. In that case, he would choose some cheap goods to sell at the marketplace. Afterward, he would purchase high-quality items for trading. Only in this way could he maximize his profits. Right at that moment, something was vibrating. Whoosh! The bronze mirror responded. Who is Master talking to? He was rather curious. At the same time, in Tai So Foam, Chi Mengdai asked doubtfully. Your Majesty, Are you saying that So Xiu has entered the deepest part of the Shan Shui Qi and found the legendary sword intent of Shan Shui? How could that be? My disciple is dull-witted. Let alone finding the initial sword intent, it would be extremely difficult for him to even enter the place of origin. It seems you find this hard to believe as well. Tai Suzi affirmed. That night, this venerable one saw it with my own eyes right here. Meng Dai, my disciple, have you noticed any changes in your heart lately? She asked. Saint Master, do you suspect he's been possessed? Tai Suzi thought this way, but quickly dismissed it. A person who could use their primordial spirit to possess another had to be at least a lesser saint. To cultivate to the lesser saint realm, they would naturally have their own plans. Initially, one can only enter this place once in their lifetime. Even those who have been possessed by others cannot violate this supreme rule. Therefore, I don't doubt that So who has been possessed by someone. Meng Dai still found it confusing. Then, how did my disciple reach the deepest part of the mountain and water realm if he wasn't possessed? Tai Suzi hesitated. Perhaps he had encountered some heaven-defying opportunity. Meng Dai, you must nurture this disciple well. In the future, our Tai Su Saint Land may have more than one Emperor Sword God. Meng Dai replied. I understand. She frowned and thought. Nourish him well? How was she supposed to do that? Had she become a cultivation pill for that little devil? In his cave abode, So who leaned against the entrance, sighing. My esteemed master, if Tai Suzi has spoken, then come, let us delve into a profound exchange. A moment later, within the dream butterfly manor, Chu Xiu arrived to find Meng Dai. Master, your disciple has come to seek your guidance again. Wearing a fox mask and a thin coat, she questioned Chu Xiu. Disciple, why did you deceive this master? He pretended to be clueless. Do you have something you're hiding from your master? She asked. The matter of you finding the sword intent. Chu Xiu pulled her close, his arm around her waist. Oh, Shirzlin, how did you know? Meng Dai tried to pry the hand gripping her waist away as she replied. The Holy Lord is a Saint King Realm Overlord, controlling the laws of space. When you tried to probe with your spiritual sense, of course, you couldn't hide it from him. Su Xiu still smiled innocently. Is that so? And then what? Did the Holy Land decide to cultivate this peerless genius with all its resources? She continued. In the Tai Su Holy Land, there are no useless resources. Even if you were an ancient emperor reborn, you still have to rely on your own strength to fight and seize them. Flowers grown in a greenhouse can't withstand wind and rain. So Xiu nodded. Disciple understands. He faced Meng Dai, his hand reaching towards her face, whispering, So, isn't this obtaining resources through your own strength? Understanding his implication, she stammered, Villain, no, not today. Chu Xiu didn't care why she said that. He caressed her beautiful face. Meng Chang forcefully pinned her down, rendering Meng Dai unable to resist. Every second, every minute that passed, his cultivation talent grew stronger. 3 hours later, master and disciple finished their dual cultivation. The system announced, Host aptitude has reached 917 sky rank, cultivation speed increased by 31 times. Host cultivation base has greatly increased. Only half a step away from the 5th level of the Lunhai realm, please host do better and keep striving. Su Hu pondered. The effect was getting weaker and weaker, the heavenly fragrance constitution shouldn't be this weak. Could it be that his master's cultivation was sealed? Otherwise he'd try to unseal her next time. But the mere thought made him break out in a cold sweat. No, this idea was far too dangerous. He turned to her and said, Master, you've worked hard today. I'll take my leave now. Meng Dai felt both ashamed and angry. You little rascal, one day I will chop you into pieces. At the treasure pavilion, the moon had risen, and the sky shimmered brightly. Bright lanterns illuminated the area, casting a majestic golden glow everywhere. The two guards whispered to each other. He is Chu Xiu, the #1 disciple of Yanhe Peak. I heard he won 2 life-or-death battles in one go today. While they were talking, Chu Xiu met a girl. She claimed to be an inner disciple of the treasure-gathering peak, So Tiaoran. So, senior brother, are you here to sell something? He was a little surprised, then lifted her chin and asked, How did you know I came to sell items, junior sister? Can you read minds? So Tianyan tilted his head and gazed at So Xiu with infatuation. Brother, your divine power on the life and death stage today was overwhelming, earning you countless treasures and spirit stones. This news has spread throughout the Holy Land. It's obvious you'd come to the treasure-gathering pavilion to sell those items. With that, she led him upstairs. Su Hu looked at her retreating figure, speculating. I just arrived at the gathering of cultivators, and this woman has taken the initiative to approach me. What are her intentions in getting close to me? two people arrived before a display of items. Suo, who held a handful of wood and looked at it. At this moment, Suo Shaoran found it strange. Since entering the treasure-gathering pavilion, Suo, who had only been holding and admiring the merchandise, he had not seen him buy anything, nor did he know what he was thinking. Suo Shio stared intently at the item. A mundane weapon worth 50 high-grade spirit stones could be exchanged for 2 breakthrough points. A spirit herb could be exchanged for 10, and a second-grade spiritual energy pill could be exchanged for 15. Could it be that the higher the concentration of spiritual energy in an item, the more breakthrough points it could be exchanged for? He concluded, if one were to offer the world's most potent spiritual artifacts, or even sacrifice a few cultivators, to the system, what might occur? Wouldn't that trigger a breakthrough? The system immediately condemned Chu Shio. Host, you are truly a genius, to even think of such a cruel method. Truly worthy of being a natural-born villain. Activating the system reward, Earth-grade profound silver shuttle. I thought I would succeed, but what a pity. I cannot directly exchange living beings for breakthrough points. The demonic Chu Shio sighed, very well, what a pity. Suo Tioran pondered, did she see wrongly? How could there be a flash of blood in his eyes? He turned to her and said, Suo Shimi, I want to buy some medicinal pills that can restore Yuan Qi and Jin Yuan. Give me 15 million high-grade Yuan stones first. She paused, momentarily stunned. What did he need so many restorative elixirs for? Was he planning to bathe in primordial energy? Then, So Xiaoran agreed. All right, I'll arrange it. So Xiao said politely. Thank you, So Shirmei. After Chu Xiaoyan left, he pondered, with some yuan stones remaining in his hand, wondering if there was anything else he needed. At this moment, his eyes suddenly lit up, and the mark on his forehead flickered. In the corner, there was a piece of copper that looked rather ordinary. Why did that ordinary piece of bronze resonate with my nascent sword intent? The sword within me seems drawn to it. What secrets does this bronze fragment hold? A moment later, Chu Xiaoyan returned. Senior brother, the pills you wanted are ready. Come check them? He asked her, holding a copper piece. Chu Shimi, how many elemental stones for this bronze fragment? I'll buy it. She generously replied that the small item wasn't worth much, and if Chu Shixian liked it, he could have it. Su Hu placed a bag of money in her hand. Here are over 100 high-grade primordial stones. Put them away. I don't like owing favors. She accepted them unexpectedly. Then he turned and called for her to come downstairs to check the goods. So Tunin hastily called out after him. Wait, So Shihuing. He turned and asked. Junior sister Chu, is there anything else? She lowered her head and said, There's something I'd like to ask senior brother Chu for help with. Her face flushed, her brows furrowed in distress. Clearly, she had something she needed to ask him. The two sat down at the table to discuss. So Shio spoke first. Junior sister, what brings you here? If it's too much trouble, you don't have to say it. So Tianran hesitated. Senior brother, are you familiar with the Taisu Divine Tower? Chu Shio immediately replied, of course. The Taisu Divine Pagoda, the life-bound imperial weapon of Taisu Dizuin, offered impeccable offense and defense, encompassing a radius of 10,000 zhang. The image of a multi-storied ancient pagoda materialized. After the emperor ascended the throne, he was placed in the Tai Soa Feng. Not only is it the Tai Soa Holy Land where the Hutongji Bao is kept, but it's also the best place for our disciples to train. The higher the level, the more valuable the benefits. The Shinthap trial tests the disciples' battle strength, talent, comprehension, willpower, and Dao heart. The higher the level, the more valuable the benefits. Chu Xiaoran finally spoke. This time, the matter I want to ask you for help with is related to the Taisu Divine Art. Senior brother, do you know that one of the 3 great secret realms of the Taisu Holy Land, the Huangyao Secret Realm, will open in a month? Chu Xiu replied that he had been busy cultivating recently, and hadn't paid attention to other matters. However, he had heard of the Huangyao Secret Realm, a great place for treasure hunting. Senior brother, if you want to enter the Huangyao Secret Realm, you must climb the Taisu Divine Tower and participate in the Divine Tower trial. In the trial, only the top 300 Luan High Realm disciples and the top 100 Xinqiao Realm disciples are qualified to enter the Secret Realm. Senior brother Saw, with few rivals at his level, will definitely be among the top 300 if he climbs the Tai Soashin Tower. Shao Niren wanted to ask for a favor. Having said that, Chu Xianiren blushed and approached Chu Xiao. She whispered in his ear, Xixiang, can you help me? He furrowed his brows. Oh? Scene shift, the Suho mansion. The air is turbulent, dust swirling in the wind. Immense power surges outward, emanating from within. Suo Shio cultivated diligently. His eyes shone brightly, full of spirit. The system continuously announced, "Host has broken through to the 4th stage of the Sea of Consciousness. Host has broken through to the 5th stage of the Sea of Consciousness. Host has broken through to the 6th stage of the Sea of Consciousness. Host has broken through to the 9th stage of the Sea of Consciousness." He asked about the requirements for breaking through to the 10th level of the Lunhai realm. The system replied that it couldn't find anything on the host's person that could facilitate a breakthrough to the 10th level of the Lunhai realm. This time, it coldly announced, "Unfortunately, host's breakthrough has failed. Please collect 1 Yaoling Nu, Pudation Hua, Huanai Yogua, 3 rare treasures for breakthrough." Cultivation ended. Residual energy dissipated into the air. Suahu slumped over, clutching his head in contemplation. These 3 treasures are all celestial items. Literally, you can only encounter them, you can't ask for them. Not to mention that there is basically no market for these 3 treasures, and even if someone really sells them, the price would be sky high. You can't go rob them either, but we can't break through, we just don't have that kind of strength. At this moment, he suddenly remembered someone's words. Chu Xiaoran once said that many years ago, a disciple brought back a half-rotten Huning Yao Gua from the Huangyao secret realm. He smirked. "Looks like I have no choice but to go to the Taisu Divine Pagoda." 3 days later, the bell of the tower tolled. Outside Taisu Peak, a procession of boats arrived one after another. Amidst the bustling crowd gathered since early morning, the grand event held every 30 years was truly lively. "I wonder if any disciples will break the sect's rules this time." The notice board was placed in front of the tower. Amophian spoke first. "Oh, a disciple of the Lunhai realm has entered the top 10. Old Huang, who do you favor?" The person standing next to her was Old Huang, the Taisu Peak elder. "I value Yifan more. This person has extremely high potential, an incredibly solid foundation, and his talent, willpower, and luck are all excellent." Amophian stood with her arms crossed, her face calm. "Yifan, worth looking forward to." Amid the slow-moving crowd headed towards the tower, a red boat zipped past, attracting attention. Amophian turned, surprised by the speed. "Who was that?" Old Huang stroked his beard, slowly replying, "That person is Yunhe Feng's direct, chief disciple." Suho's face remained impassive as he walked forward, sword in hand. He leaped off the boat and strode toward the arena. The conversation of the 2 people nearby caught his attention. "Good job, disciple. I'm proud of you." Su Rushua took her master's hand and exclaimed, "Shifu, I did it!" A chorus of congratulations followed. "Congratulations, Elder Yang." Yefan, another true disciple of the Tianjian Feng, also excitedly said, "I also want to climb into the top 10 of the Xingqiaojing, so that the Taisu Ta will ring the evening bell." Chu Xiu suddenly appeared behind him and asked who he was. Yifan immediately bowed in greeting. "So you are a senior brother from Yunhe Peak. This humble one is called Yifan." He looked at Yifan with suspicion. The guy's name sounds like the main character, and not just that, his aura is too heaven-defying. Could he be the protagonist? The 2 exchanged pleasantries. Chu Xiu replied, "Yi Xiong, it's a pleasure to meet you." He hesitated. "But do you know me?" Yifan said admiringly. "Of course. I've heard of your crazy winnings at the Tianqing Peak gambling stones." "Senior brother Chu Xiu, you have a gentle nature." Chu Xiu modestly put his hands behind his back. "Oh, it's nothing worth mentioning, it's nothing worth mentioning." Yifan secretly assessed Chu Xiu. This senior brother Chu Xiu had a gentle personality. A perfect match for friendship. Chu Xiu was also thinking, this brother Yifan, with his straightforward personality, is suitable to be a friend. That kind of luck-absorbing technique of his. A few more names appeared on the notice board. The 2 young men clasped their hands and bowed to each other. "Yiwen, it's time for my test. We've had the fortune of meeting again. I wish you the best of luck, Shihuin." Suo, who continued to step up the steps, entered the tower. Right in front of him was the first level of the Tai Sushin Tower. Glowing red eyes flickered in front of the cave entrance. The silhouette of fierce wolves gradually emerged from the darkness. Their teeth bared ferociously, their eyes glowed red, and they stalked their approaching prey. Chu Xiu drew his sword, his tone confident. He let out a hoot. "Coming out to greet your guests, are we?" The wolves, seemingly starved for a long time, surged forward, leaping towards him. Each one had sharp fangs and claws, and they were incredibly ferocious. With the rustle of shoes against the ground, Chu Xiu gained momentum. He then swiftly drew his sword. He severed the heads of the wolves one by one. They died before they could react. The battle ended quickly. So Xiu coldly continued his unfinished sentence. "It was just a wild beast at the Luanhai realm." A moment later, So Xiu had reached the 67th floor of the Tai Sushin Tower. The scenery here was very poetic and romantic. A girl flew close to him. She was a beautiful girl, with long, flowing peach blossom hair and captivating peach blossom eyes. She approached him, invitingly. "Stay here and have fun with me." The sword leaped from its scabbard, ending the girl's life in a single stroke. Soshio, who had seen countless female cultivators, scoffed. "You think you can lure me? You're still too green." The atmosphere grew heavier on the 68th floor of the Taisu Divine Tower. Before Chushio, 4 flames flickered to life, each a distinct, vibrant color. They represent the 4 guardian deities of this place, the formidable Xuanwu and the tyrannical Baihu. The vermilion bird is the fire phoenix, and the formidable, terrifying azure dragon, Su, who was not afraid at all. He laughed. "This time, the 4 of you are at the pinnacle of reincarnation," he roared. "Take this." He charged forward like a whirlwind, leaving no one time to react. In a blink, he struck down 4 of them. The 4 deities dropped their weapons, defeated. The 98th layer of the Taizu Divine Pagoda is surrounded by a sea of crimson spider lilies. This time, the opponent facing Soshio was Taisuzi, someone with the same cultivation realm as him. He was at the peak of the 9th level of the Luanhai realm, but his actual strength was unfathomable. Suhu was a bit dubious. He asked, "Are you sure you're not the Taisu Dizuan?" She remained silent. As if he already knew the answer, he smirked. Truly worthy of the title Guji Dadi. Chu Xiu charged forward, his sword brimming with chi, and challenged, "Dadi, come fight." 2 swords clashed. 1 white, 1 red, engaged in a fierce battle. Chu Xiu kicked Tai Suzy, but she gently raised her hand to stop him. With a flick of her wrist, she sent him flying. After that blow, Chu Xiu was incredibly shocked. How could it be possible? With the strength of my primordial saint physique, I was casually swatted away by Tai Suzy at his current cultivation level. Even an emperor is not allowed. At this moment, the Crown Prince Su again launched an attack. She used her speed to quickly charge forward. Suahu used a palm strike to block it. But he was utterly surprised by Tai Suzy's power. Tai Suzy's other hand was already prepared to attack, and Suashio silently accepted it, blocking the strike. His eyes were bloodshot, his smile twisted, a crazed gleam in them. An eye for an eye, a life for a life. If you don't die, then I will. That's how I fight. Tai Suzy stubbornly fought back. Damn it, he cursed. Are you hacking? Suahu's mouth was filled with blood, and he gripped her neck. My sword intent, her body can still withstand it. After speaking, he released her. Tai Suzy, now light as a sheet of paper and devoid of strength, collapsed. A massive ring of light enveloped Chu Xiu. He had broken through to the 98th level. The teleportation array sent him to the next level, the 99th floor. Su Hu felt bored and troubled. He had just fought someone, but he couldn't remember who. Forget it, now was not the time to think about it. Before him stood 4 stone tablets. Each bore an emblem of power, a blade, a sword, a shield, and a fist. Which to choose? He approached a steel, absorbing its energy. Try this. The system issued a mission, requesting within half a day, the mastery of sword techniques and sword arts. The more mastered, the higher the evaluation. The more thorough the mastery, the higher the evaluation. So Shio began to enter the state of cultivation, learning swordsmanship. These were all sword techniques and sword arts. System, consume breakthrough points, learn sword techniques and sword formulas. System acknowledges. Turning on consumption mode, host has learned 5 complete sword techniques. The host has mastered 35 sword techniques. The host has mastered 100 sword techniques. The system congratulates you, your achievement this time. You have mastered 1000 sword techniques. This life, Soyu is different, he has the breakthrough ability of the system, plus the ancient holy body, and the heaven's slaughter sword intent. He must utilize the full potential of these advantages. The ancient holy body is invincible in body, the heaven's slaughter sword intent is unparalleled in sharpness. These two combined, why can't they unleash the most powerful attack? Chu Xiu opened his eyes. He grasped the crucial point, the heavy sword. Only with a heavy sword could he fully utilize the advantages of his heavenly slaughter sword intent and primordial saint body. His brother hovered in the air, a newly forged sword, radiating with formidable power, appearing in his hand. He lifted it. This sword is too heavy. But with a single slash, the water parted. The system announced, all things cease, the first awakening, all things perish, complete. The system assessed the rank, myriad things at rest. Chu Xiu laughed heartily. I am Chu Xiu. Myriad things at rest. Even I feel perverted. Who could withstand such a terrifying strike? Spending over 1,000 breakthrough points was definitely worth it. The analysis is complete. This is a sword technique of CN grade quality. Brief introduction, a supremely overbearing strike. In an instant, it unleashes blood chi fused with the primordial saint body and heavenly slaughter sword intent. With extreme speed, it launches a devastating sword strike towards the enemy. The second form is not yet comprehended, and is not recommended for immediate use as it could be fatal. At Taisu Peak Plaza, people gathered. Qi Ming, the son of Bian Mengdai, admonished Su Xiaoran. Do you truly think that Su Xiao can ascend to the 80th floor and obtain the great Emperor's silver sand to help your mother detoxify? You should follow me instead. Perhaps I can plead with the esteemed Mengdai Xianzi for some medicinal herbs to treat your mother. It's been almost 10 days. Chu Xiao still hasn't come out. Could he be lost in the Divine Tower? Every time the Taisu Divine Tower opens, disciples fall. He reached for Chu Xiaoran, but she swatted his hand away. Don't touch me. She looked up at the tower, thinking to herself, Suo Xiao Shixiang will definitely be alright. A bell rang. Someone entered the top 10. The announcement caused a stir around. Chu Xiao's name gradually appeared on the golden board. The crowd gathered to watch. Everyone gasped in astonishment. Silence reigned. Contrary to Qi Ming's surprised expression, Chu Xiaoyan was overjoyed. A perfectly healthy soul who emerged from the tower. He smiled and said to her, I kept you waiting. She was so happy, senior brother, you finally came out safe and sound. The crowd excitedly approached the two. Senior brother Chu, you are truly amazing. Senior brother Chu Su, could you give me your autograph? Suo Hu stared at these people with a sneer. Remember that year, these disciples from the sacred land saw Lao Ma saw and only knew to shout. Saw Lao Ma die. Unexpectedly, today they are calling him senior brother. Indeed, choosing is more important than striving. He also pretended to cooperate and sign for them. I used to be too blatant as a villain. I was too young back then, and a villain at that. I should have appeared righteous on the surface while secretly doing bad things. Suddenly, two figures descended from the sky, interrupting his train of thought. Old Huang praised, Suo Xiao, you are excellent, not bad at all. Mo Fian continued, Suo Xiao, the Holy Lord wants to see you, come with us. After a while, he entered the Tai Su Palace. The cloud-born wind, Su Xiao, met his master and then the Holy Master. Qi Mengdai sat on the high platform, wearing a mask. She turned away, not looking at him. Tai Tzu warmly praised Suhu. To see my disciple break through the ancient limits, I am overjoyed. Suhu, your performance today has been exceptionally good. Suo Xiao wasn't being humble at all. He pretended to cough a few times and said, Your Highness, Saint Master, you see, no matter how good or bad I am, I've broken the record of our holy land. Is there any reward for me? In his heart he thought, I need the benefits now, what am I waiting for? Qi Mengdai stood up, pointed at his face, and shouted, You disrespectful brat! Don't be rude! Tai Suzi offered words of comfort, saying, Mengdai Xianzi, do not worry. I simply wish to know what reward your disciple seeks. Chu Xiao cupped his hands and bowed. Disciple requests either soul manifestation fruit, myriad medicine spirit milk, or Bodhi divine flower, any will do. Qi Mengdai gritted her teeth, this wretch had a huge appetite. Tai Suzi's voice was the same as before. Heaven and earth treasures, sacred land treasure houses, there are a few, but not the 3 types you want. It's just that when they can be found, I can't guarantee it for you. However, this deity can send someone to look for one for you. Suo Xiao was not in a hurry, the disciple is willing to wait. He thought to himself, this Tai Suzi was easy to talk to. If I use the reincarnation heavenly cruel parent and child seal to control this Saint Lord's words. The image alone made him excited. The system secretly lamented, damn it, the master's mind is so deep. He placed both hands behind his back and began to perform the incantation. Directed onto Tai Suzi who is seated on the throne. 3 consecutive system notifications rang out. Reincarnation heavenly cry parent-child seal. Child seal successfully invaded Tai Suzi. Target has not yet detected. Remaining uses 0. Host child seal, Tai Suzi. Host child seal, Qi Mengdai. Host can freely recall the child seal. After recalling the child seal, the number of uses will increase. At most 2 people can be used at the same time? Chu Xiao's last sentence sounded incredibly exciting. The mother-son seal could be used by 2 people simultaneously. You can enjoy 2 beauties at once. Oh, what a splendid image. The system chuckled lewdly. Host, you're a true villain with destiny. You dare to dream of dual cultivation with the Tai Su Saint Lord and Meng Dai Xianzi? You're audacious, your heart is evil, and you're stirring up trouble. Super explosive reward activated. Danjing Middle Volume. This Danjing Middle Volume is a top-tier secret technique, a CN product introduction. The ancient Danjing is divided into 3 volumes. The middle volume is the Dujing, containing over 10,000 methods for crafting poisons. If you cultivate it to its limit, you can even craft a fatal poison that can kill even a true emperor. If all 3 volumes were unified into the Danjing, it would be the supreme Dan Dao Emperor Sutra that the human Dan Di created 1,000,000 years ago in the ancient era. Soashio stroked his chin with delight. This reward is too good to be true. A villain who doesn't know how to poison, how can he be a villain? Tai Suzy gave him one last instruction. The 8 trigrams ginseng is very effective in strengthening qi and blood. I hope you will make good use of it. Soashio clasped his hands in a respectful bow. Then he left with Chimeng Dai. Tai Suzy sat on the platform, pondering. He couldn't pinpoint the source of the dangerous feeling he just experienced. Could someone be plotting against the 4 venerables? She rubbed her forehead and stood up. Maybe it was an illusion because she had been in seclusion for too long, or maybe she should go out for a walk. In the night sky, the luxurious airship moved slowly. In the main cabin of the boat, Chu Xiu and Chimeng Dai sat facing each other. Chu Xiu told his 2 junior sisters to leave first. He had something to discuss with their master. Chimeng Dai immediately refused. Her junior sister called out in confusion. Sister, master! Chimeng Dai stammered. Nothing, you all go out first. Soashio unleashed his magic. He set up a restriction around the room. He chuckled. Master, with just the 2 of us on this spaceship, don't let this beautiful scenery pass us by. She ripped off her mask in anger, fiddling with her clothes. Do you dare to bully me? Do you truly think I am a tool? Chu Xiu did not retract his smile, pushing himself forward. Shirzun, in your eyes, am I that starved? She asked back, aren't I? He took the mask from her hand. Shirzun, do you want to recover your cultivation? Her hand trembled, trying to suppress her emotions. Of course I do. He examined the mask. Not bad, it could completely conceal one's cultivation level. Even a Saint King realm expert like Tai Suzy wouldn't be able to detect that his master had no cultivation. Chimeng Dai turned away. Disciple, your concealment methods are quite impressive. After my master taught you, you will definitely have the special aura of Tianxiang body. And you hid it well, even the holy master couldn't detect it. She breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this rebellious brat knew how to be discreet. Otherwise, their secret might have been exposed. Returning to the previous topic, she asked. You just said you could help me restore my cultivation? What's the condition? You can't possibly be that kind. So Xiu hummed in agreement. He handed her something and gestured to a tray. Put this on, he said. She felt strange. What was this? So Xiu didn't elaborate, only telling her to wear it, promising a reward afterward. Chimeng Dai reluctantly put it on. She blushed and looked down at her feet. It was a pair of black socks. Chu Xiu's hand reached out and touched her thigh. She stopped him. Don't be so playful. What are you trying to do? He looked at her with a smug smile. What do you mean playful? Approaching seductively, she coaxed. Call me Gidge. Chimeng Dai immediately turned her face away. Dream on, you scoundrel, this grand elder would rather die than address you so. Soashio wasn't angry. He complimented her on her fortitude. 10 minutes later. The atmosphere in the room had completely changed. Despite being ravished, a mixture of pain and pleasure, she resolutely refused to cry out. You're dreaming. I'm a powerful Daoxing, you can't force me. Soahu switched to a threat. Master, if you don't shout, I'll use the 1,000 miles transmission to let the disciples on the boat know. She roared angrily. You brat, don't push your luck. Finally, Chimeng Dai gritted her teeth and accepted it. She moaned, blushing as she called Chushio Gidge. The boat trembled with her scream. You little wretch, I will personally end you, sooner or later. The next day, outside Chu Xiu's cave abode, Yunhe Peak, Emperor Insai entrusted Chu Xiaoyan with the matter. The Taisu Divine Tower affair is now concluded. Suo Xiu held the secret manual in his hand, pondering. Suo Xiaoren had provided him with all the intelligence, confirming that his beloved soul was indeed trapped within the wild beast's secret realm. A journey into the wild beast's secret realm was a necessity, and he would have to train diligently. He glanced at his 2 junior martial brothers discussing in a corner. The latest Heavenly Secrets billboard had been updated. It must have been updated. Old Man Sa has been dead for a while, so of course someone replaced him. Tianji Bao. It records major and minor events in the Tiankong continent, from power rankings to gossip. Each copy costs 1 mid-grade yuan stone. He chuckled softly. You would never dream that the Chu Lao Ma you speak of is not only alive, but thriving. The fat guy held the paper and shouted. The 4th place on the immortal ranking has changed. It was originally Zhang Xianling, the saintess of Yin Yang divine religion, but now it's changed to Lu Hongyi. The guy sitting next to him was surprised. Zhang Xianling is my goddess. Who is this Lu Hongyi? Is she pretty? Chu Xiu also noticed the name, Lu Hongyi. It was her. He walked up to the other two. Good morning, fellow disciples, can you tell me the secrets of heaven? Fatty cheerfully offered it, saying, Senior brother, if you need it, take it. Brother An was surprised and thanked him. Skinny smiled and politely said, You're welcome. Sua, who took the newspaper and left. The chubby man said nervously, You heard it too, right? Senior brother Chu Xiu has climbed the Qianji Pavilion's Qianlong list. Things are different now. We can't afford to offend him. The skinny man, also afraid, replied, Heard it? Of course I have. Who knows how he got so powerful all of a sudden? The major event in the Tiankong continent, Su Lao Ma, who used to be the leader of the Shaoxing Bang, is now dead. Now, the new leader of the Shaoxing Bang is Feng Yaoguang, the holy son of the Yaoguang Holy Land. Zhang Xianling, the saintess of the Yin Yang divine cult, who used to be ranked 4th in the Shaoxing Bang, has been replaced by the saintess of the Yuan Hongqing Jian Zone. Lu Hongyi. The latest battle report from the Tianyuan Great Wall says that for the last 6 months, there have been large-scale invasions of the human territory by demons. Lu Hongyi had entered the top 4 of the Shaoxing Bang. His eyes widened as he looked at the huge characters. Wanted, Saintess Lu Hongwei, for assassinating and betraying Hongqing Jianzuan. Reward 100 million Xinyuan Shi. According to Hongqing Jianzuan sect leader Shi Kong's recollection, Lu Hongwei assassinated the elder as revenge for So Lao Ma, who was ambushed and killed. Hongqing Jianzuan warns all cultivators to beware, as she is cunning and deadly. Do not underestimate this woman. Chu Xiu sighed. Silly girl. One moonlit night, he and she lay together in a meadow. She sat up and introduced herself as Lu Hongwei. As you can see, my family is gone. So Hugh also stated his name. My family is all on the other side of the void. I'm afraid even if I wanted to see them, I couldn't. She proposed. Help me bury my family, and from now on, we'll be family. He sat up, agreeing with her. The two clasped hands and swore an oath. It is decided then, from now on, we are family. So Hu sent a voice transmission to Dao Yu, asking her to find someone. After a while, Dao Yu appeared and called him. You're sitting alone in the courtyard, watching the moon. Are you troubled, senior brother? He turned to look at her, his junior sister. Just a little homesick. Tao Yao muttered, then continued, Senior brother has been at Yunhe Peak for over 30 years. Previously, when Fenrin Kingdom's Jun Qishan was attacked by the Yao race, could it be that Master brought you here to eliminate the Yao? Time flies. Big brother was lucky, he was only 3 years old back then, but he still survived in the hands of the demon race. She held his hand. As the saying goes, surviving a great tribulation leads to great fortune. Eldest senior brother, your fortune lies ahead. Senior brother, Qishan Jun is your homeland, and the sacred grounds are also your home. Both I and Shizuan are your family. If you ever miss home, you can come find me anytime. Chu Xiu smiled at her. He patted her arm. Everyone is my wings. 30 years ago, Chu Xiu's survival wasn't due to luck, but rather this old devil's schemes. Naturally, meeting Qi Mengdai was also arranged by this venerable one, precisely to infiltrate the Taisu Holy Land. Dao Yu blushed, thinking. Lately, she felt her senior brother had become different. Before, he always avoided her, but now he was very close to her. She suddenly tiptoed up. Then he gave Suahu a surprise kiss on the cheek. After the kiss, she slipped an envelope into his hand. Big brother, this is the intel you need. She blushed and ran off. Senior brother, go to sleep. This junior sister is going back to cultivate. Suddenly kissed? Suo Xiu panicked slightly, telling himself to calm down. Opening the letter he read 3 days ago, Lu Hongyi appeared in Chang'an City, Dongguo. Chang'an City, that place makes him feel this matter is a bit difficult. Great Tang Empire of Dongguo, Chang'an City. Fire and smoke filled the air, the entire city plunged into chaos. Corpses littered the ground, blood flowed like a river. The fat old man dragged his aged body, screaming, Do you want to be like Chu Laomao? To go against the entire human race, to go against all forces? The girl standing before him was Lu Hongyi, the saint-blood daughter of Yuan Hongqing Jianzuan. She wore blood-red robes, enveloped in a murderous aura, her eyes covered by a white cloth. The old man's eyes were red with despair. Ji family will not let you go. We will hack you into 10,000 pieces. She said nothing, her blade flashing down, ending his life. Lu Hongyi coldly killed a life. Blood splattered everywhere. She landed, walking towards the old man's body. The shadow behind her asked, "Where are you going next?" She said coldly. "To kill," he asked again. "Are you really willing to stand against the whole world for him?" Lu Hongyi calmly replied, "He opposes the world, I will oppose the world with him. If he is Buddha, I will transcend all sentient beings in his stead. If he is a demon, I will rule over all of creation in his place." Over here, under the tree, saw who was cultivating. He absorbed the techniques from the Golden Book. The Divine Tower of Tai Su, the reward of the cultivation technique, has not yet been cultivated. This place is quiet and unpopulated, just right for a try. The power poured into the book, and relevant information appeared. The 9 words of truth and the mysterious script of speed. The 9 words of truth, also known as the 9 mysteries, are the ultimate secret techniques of heaven and earth. The 9 mysteries are complete, capable of being invincible within the universe. The mysterious script of speed is the fastest secret technique in the world. And when cultivated to its peak, it can break through almost all formations, free from any restrictions. The disadvantage lies in the difficulty of understanding it, requiring cultivators with extraordinary talent and insight. Chu Xiu sighed. Zhang Yuan stretched and stood up. The Xingzi by movement was truly difficult to grasp. 3 days had passed, and he had only comprehended a small part of it. A figure approached from behind. "Who are you?" The girl stepped forward, a beautiful maiden with blue hair and golden eyes, holding a fan. "I am Elder Hua Luo Fei from the Cloud Peak sect." "You are Suo Xiu, are you not?" "This is Yun He Feng, I wouldn't harm you." Chu Xiu discovered something familiar. How come there's a death mark in this person's body? Could it be that Tai Suzi has changed into a different body to meet me? This is intriguing. He bowed and greeted. "So Xiu greets Hua Danlao. I didn't know you were here." She said she had come to Yun Ha Feng on business, and after finishing her work, she was taking a walk around, and happened to see him cultivating here, so she didn't want to disturb him. Hua Luo Fei sat down on the stone carpet beside him. "You're training so hard, is it because you want to enter the wild beast's secret realm?" Suo Xiu did not deny it. "The wild beast's secret realm has many opportunities, but it's also very dangerous. If you want to grasp the opportunities within, you need to diligently cultivate." His gaze fixed on her. Looking at her seductive body, full of electricity and water, I almost bled from my nose. "Elder Hua, this disciple is curious about something and wonders if I could ask you a question." She turned and told him to go ahead. 10,000 years before the era of Emperor Lac, an age when only one great emperor of the human race or a demon emperor, barbarian emperor existed between humans, demons, and barbarians. From the ancient times to the era of Emperor Lac, why, when the human race produced a great emperor, did they not completely eliminate the demons and barbarians? When the demon Dao produced a great emperor, why did they not completely eliminate the human race? This has been a question ever since I arrived in the Tiankong continent. Today, I happened to meet Tai Suzi. Perhaps she knows the secrets within. She slowly replied. Among the great emperors, the demon emperor and the barbarian emperor, there seemed to be a certain understanding. Even if one side had a great emperor ascend, they could suppress the others but not use their power to completely eradicate them. As for the reason why, no one knew. It's said that when you become a great emperor, you will learn some secrets related to the Tiankong continent and this starry sky. Suahu was surprised. In this world, are there still beings stronger than a great emperor? Hua Luofei looked up at the sky. No one knew if there was a path beyond the great emperor realm. From the primordial era to the current Emperor Luo era, this star field had seen a total of 17 great emperors. But in the end, they all perished, leaving no trace in the world. Those who could become great emperors were all incredibly talented individuals. So why didn't they take that final step? Was the path ahead severed? Or was there no path left to take? It's something worth pondering. We are discussing the great emperor's cultivation, aren't we being a bit too ambitious? Seeing her stand up, he asked, Hua Jiejie, are you preparing to leave? Come back here, train hard. Soshio scratched his head. Sister Hua, will we have a chance to see each other again? She replied. We'll meet again after you come out of the wild beast's secret realm. Chu Xiu cheerfully waved his hand. All right, after I return, I will wait for you here. Hua Luofei covered her mouth and laughed. Very well. The system chuckled. Host, you are truly outstanding. Too bad. He strolled back to Chimingge's cave, hands clasped behind his head. Cultivating secret techniques was too mentally taxing. He'd rather ask his master for some cultivation resources. A conversation could be heard from within. Auntie, you must help me. If not, it will really be too late. You are Chu Xiu's master. As long as you open your mouth and ask him for the Emperor's silver sand, he will definitely give it to you. Inside were Chi Mangdai and Chi Ming. Minger, it's not that Auntie won't help you. Even though I am Chu Xiu's master, there's no justifiable reason for me to demand his belongings like this. Sohe looked at the man frowning below. Was this his master's nephew? He was always clinging to Shifu Tianren, making it seem like he was so powerful. It turns out he's just a good-for-nothing. If this great nephew of mine wants the Silver Sand Emperor like that, I'll just trick him out of some money. He stepped inside and said, Minger, do you want the Silver Sand Emperor? Chi Ming cheerfully embraced his shoulders. So Xiu, you have arrived. Do you still have the great Emperor Yin Sha with you? So Xiu replied, I still have it. I have been in seclusion these past few days and haven't been able to see junior sister Xiaoran. I was planning to find an opportunity to give it to her. Chi Ming's tone became even more cheerful. That's wonderful. Can you give the great Emperor Yin Sha to me? I'll give it to her on your behalf. So Hu sighed, summoning a black stone. I struggled to get this from the endless sea of fire, he said. Chi Ming thought to himself. If I buy the Silver Sand Emperor, I will be the only one on the Tiankong mainland to own this. By then, she, So Xiaoran, had to beg me to save her mother. Chi Ming cordially shook Chu Xiu's hand. Name your price. 1,000,000 high-grade essence stones? Chi Ming immediately agreed. Deal. Chu Xiu, you are a good man. He was very pleased, thinking that Saw would use this to extort money from him. He didn't expect him to be so easygoing. The two acted close. Chu Hu patted the other man's shoulder. You are my master's nephew, thus my kin. Chi Ming replied, Indeed, we are kin. So Xiu still tempted. Minger, I have a little bit left, do you still need it? Why don't you buy it all from me at this price? Chi Ming was greedy. He absolutely had to seize all the Yin Sa great emperors, otherwise, he would not be able to threaten Su Xiaoran. He asked, How much is left? Su Yu pretended, Not much, just a little bit left. He took out another 4 or 5 blocks. Then there was a whole small mountain. Chi Ming gaped in astonishment. This is just a little bit. He coaxed further, Buy or not, say the word, if not I'll put it away. Chi Ming yelled towards Chi Mangdai, Saw Xiu, this is blatant deception, aren't you going to do anything about him? She advised him. Your Silver Sand Emperor, you have obtained it. You should return now. Chi Ming hesitated for a moment. Seeing he couldn't do anything, he just left in anger. Chi Mangdai asked. Disciple, what did you trick him into doing? Chu Xiu immediately denied it. Trick? What trick? It was clearly a voluntary transaction between two parties. He leisurely walked up to her. They were so close. Besides, what did you just call me? She yelled. What the hell are you talking about? Calling me brother? You're dreaming. Sufu took out a cute little cotton swab, saying, What are you playing with? Call me big brother. Needles pricking her skin, Chi Mangdai blushed and scolded. You're dreaming. He touched her sensitive spots, arousing her feelings. He exclaimed, Master's body seems fuller than it was a month ago. Has she gained weight? She dodged. Chu Xiu teased, Shizhuan, let this disciple help you examine your body. Her hand gripped the apple tightly. Chi Mangdai struggled and said, Get lost. This venerable is not fat, get lost. He cheerfully took the apple from her hand. He took a bite with relish. Then she sat on the chair and ate deliciously. That's right, the dish my disciple asked for last time. Has Shifu finished making it? She got up. In the bedchamber, everyone get out, I'll go get it for you. Chi Ming's bedroom. Master, where is what I want? She turned, retrieving the items. Everything you desire is here. 3 exquisite jade orbs rested within a wooden box. Chu Xiu picked it up and examined it. As expected of his master, a skilled craftsman. Chi Mangdai proudly said, Wansha Mountain's Jingguang stone not only emits light, but also heat. He suddenly moved closer to her. He rolled the jade bead along her foot. Shizhuan, you have this now, let me massage the acupoints on your feet. It will definitely be very helpful for your cultivation recovery. She was embarrassed and hesitant. What are you trying to do? So Xiu looked at her face and praised, Shizhuan, you are truly a 3,000-year-old treasure. Chi Mingdia could not help but say angrily, You little brat. So, you made me do this to bully me, right? He pushed her down onto the bed. An alluring tone. What does Shizhuan want? She turned her face away. Banzua misspoke. The character sheet has been updated. Host, Socio, Cultivation Realm, Luanhai Stage 9, Unique Physique, Huang Guxingti, Overall Combat Power Assessment, Average combat power 35 at the same level. Afterward, Qi Mengdai lay on the bed, panting. Su Xiao, however, felt refreshed and invigorated. Indeed, the effects of the heavenly fragrance body were amplified by his master's heightened emotions. The minor tool remained effective. She had experienced the ultimate culmination of ascension. Qi Mengdai lay still for a moment. He slowly sat up. That damn mischievous bastard finally left. He was so smug and arrogant before, he actually removed my restrictions. Before leaving, he seemed to forget to add another seal to me. She tested her luck. He had indeed forgotten the seal. The feeling of manipulating the power within my body is incredible. I can once again sense the spiritual energy of this world. She was astonished to discover that her cultivation had progressed while she was sealed. Could it be related to that rebellious disciple, and Ig too? Her gaze turned icy. You little rascal, just you wait for this seat. Strangely, the orb she had just condensed suddenly vanished. Why am I sealed? The voice of Suho reached her ears. Master, don't misunderstand. I just wanted to remind you that even from a greater distance, I can seal you at any time. Qi Mengdai, enraged, grabbed a figurine resembling Chu Xiao. Repeatedly stabbing it with a needle, she cursed, Rebellious disciple, rebellious disciple, rebellious disciple, rebellious disciple, die. Her stomach suddenly growled. She paused, looking down. A strange sensation stirred within her abdomen. 7 days later, in front of the Huangyao Secret Realm's teleportation gate, a bustling crowd had gathered. Just like in previous years, the secret realm would be open for 30 days. Chu Xiao also stood among this group of people. The one speaking was Tai Suzi. Within 30 days you must all cultivate yourselves to the initial transmission point, otherwise you will be trapped in this secret realm for several decades, waiting for it to open again. After you leave the secret realm, each of you must contribute a certain amount. The Tai Su Summit headquarters will rank you according to the order in which you contribute. The top 10 disciples on the contribution list will receive corresponding rewards. Su Hu yawned. Shut up, my brother doesn't care about your rewards, I just want the soulmate fruit in the secret realm. Hold on, everyone, wait for the teleportation formation to open before entering the secret realm. Yifan ran over to greet you. Brother Chu, you also want to enter the Huangyao secret realm? Chu Xiu replied politely, isn't it the same for Brother Yi? Going in with the main character, no wonder I always feel this trip will not be peaceful. He looked at Yifan and asked, Yiwen? What are you thinking about? Is something wrong? He scratched his head. Nothing, Su Huin, let's go together. He didn't refuse. The two formed a team. Gazing at the figure ahead, a voice echoed in Yifan's mind. After entering the secret realm, if you have the chance, avenge your master and kill Suo Xiao. It would be best to let him die in the mouth of a wild beast. That way, even if the Saint Lord reversed time, they wouldn't be able to find any clues. This voice came from a girl sitting on the root of an ancient tree in the 100-year-old forest. This is Lu Xue, the master of the Heavenly Sword Peak. A beautiful woman with mesmerizing purple eyes. Qi Mingye, I've arranged for some disciples to enter the secret realm, choosing the opportunity to eliminate her treasured disciple, Suhu. Don't blame me for being ruthless, he was simply unlucky to be her disciple. Lu Xue noticed two people passing by in the distance. The white-haired man was Xiao Yifeng, the second disciple of Yunhe Peak. The purple-haired man was Jian Lingyun. He said, Xiao Yifeng Xixiang, you two are martial brothers, are you sure about doing this? Aren't you afraid that the Yunhe Peak master will be enraged after Chu Xiu's death? He is currently the monstrous genius of your peak, a candidate for Saint Sun. Xiao Yifeng said indifferently. A dead sword genius is no longer a genius. A dead martial brother is the best martial brother. Moreover, Chu Xiu has been causing trouble everywhere recently, eliminating him is the best solution. Lu Xue smiled happily, it seemed that she wasn't the only one who wanted to get rid of Suo Xiu. As expected, the wicked Qi Mengdai was not a good person, and her disciples were not good people either. Back at the secret realm, the two girls went to see Suhu. Tao Yao, seeing Chu Xiuyan arrive, was slightly surprised. So junior sister Xianyan has come as well. Of course, I came to see senior brother Chu off. Chu Xiu asked them if the two martial sisters had any important matters to discuss with him. The system laughed heartily, remarking on the host's ever-growing romantic entanglements, and wondering if he was aiming to become a sea king. Dao Yu handed him a sword. This is the heavy sword that senior brother asked me to find. I've been searching for it for 2 days, so I ran here to give it to you. Hopefully it can help you. This is a heavy, top-grade longsword, the Shanglong Ba sword. It was forged from the bones of the wild Shanglong, making it heavy, hard, and a mighty weapon. If you're not strong enough, forcing yourself to use it could cause your body to collapse. Su Hu activated his cultivation base, and the massive red pressure of his sword erupted. He cheerfully praised, "Not bad, many thanks, little junior sister." Tao Yao replied, "As long as big senior brother is satisfied, that's good. Senior brother, please be careful when entering the Huangyao secret realm this time. The secret realm only opens once every few decades, and there are many demonic beasts and wild beasts inside, so don't be too reckless." Chu Xiu patted her head. "Thank you for your concern, junior sister, I will be careful." She blushed. "Then I'm relieved, senior brother." He turned to Suo Tiaoren and asked, "What brings you here?" She was carrying a bag. "I brought you some formation diagrams. They might come in handy in the secret realm." "You're welcome, Sister Qiaonian. I appreciate your concern. I'm happy to report that my mother has recovered thanks to your generous gift of the silver thread. Would you be free to visit our home for tea sometime? My mother would like to personally thank you." Chu Xiu didn't refuse and politely said, "After I return, I will definitely bring gifts to visit your mother." Tao Yao watched the two of them acting close and puffed up her cheeks in anger. A purple light appeared, enveloping the secret realm. Tai Suzi raised his hand and announced, "The teleportation formation is now open. Disciples who qualify may enter the formation immediately." Chu Xiu bowed to the two junior sisters and left first. Tao Yao pouted slightly annoyed. "Really, senior brother, why so hasty? I wasn't even finished speaking yet." Suo Xiaoran defended him. "There's something senior brother Suo Xiu urgently needs inside the secret realm. Of course he's anxious to enter." Tao Yao gritted her teeth in annoyance. She yelled, "Chu Xiaonian, stay away from my senior brother! Don't act like you know him so well." Chu Xiaonian continued her pretense. "Senior sister Tao, what do you mean? Senior brother Chu Xiu and I are open and innocent, not like what you're insinuating. Why should I stay away from him?" "Sister, you don't need to be so anxious and quick to anger. Anger will easily cause wrinkles." Dao Yu felt even more annoyed. "Me? Anxious and quick to anger?" Suo Xiaoran continued to mock her. "Your envious expression is so obvious, no wonder Suo Xiu ran away so quickly." Tao Yao began to circulate her spiritual power. Her power erupted. "Suo Xiaoran, you dare provoke me?" Contrary to the tense atmosphere outside, within the desolate wilderness, the group continued deeper into the mysterious realm. The crowd murmured among themselves. "Such a vast desolate beast secret realm? My master said that it has a diameter of about 10,000 million li, 1/20th the size of the 5 regions." They began to make plans. "With such a large area, there must be many opportunities. Anyone want to form a team? Let's explore together and search for treasures." Chu Xiu stood apart from the group. He pondered whether he should seek out Yifan first. If he had Yifan accompanying him, he could surely borrow the protagonist's aura and perhaps reap considerable benefits. But before he could, he heard someone shout, "I see Suo Hu! Everyone charge!" So Xiu was surprised. "What's going on?" he thought. "Did I offend someone? No, I haven't offended anyone, have I?" The system clicked its tongue. "Can you be a little more aggressive?" A vicious mob wielding weapons chased after him. Suo Xiu panicked and fled. He couldn't win this fight. He conjured the familiar red boat, and decided to flee as his best course of action. With a swoosh, he flew away from this place. The crowd below pointed upwards. "He's escaped," the tall man said confidently. "Don't worry, before we left, Sword Lingyun's senior brother gave me a tracking compass. I have locked onto his aura. Even if he runs to the ends of the earth, it's useless." Deep within the desolate wilderness, a spirit-infused fruit bloomed amidst the sheer cliffs. The air around him was thick with death chi. Protecting his soul is a brutal demonic beast, a demonic emperor level. Chu Xiu is currently fighting it. It opened its maw, revealing rows of razor-sharp fangs, ready to strike. Chu Xiu displayed a movement technique. He moved like lightning, leaping up and swinging his sword. A flash of blades sliced across the feral beast's body. He was defeated and collapsed, his body gradually dispersing. The remnants formed a unique purple lotus flower. The system asked, "Do you want to convert it to a breakthrough point?" Suo Xiu agreed, successfully exchanged, gaining 70,000 breakthrough points. He sat down to rest, breathing a sigh of relief. Finally, he had reached 500,000. The system invites you to choose from the following breakthroughs in sword intent: Heavenly Slaughter Sword Intent, Tao of the Sword Resolution, Myriad Matters Solved Secret Technique, Walking on One's Own Secret Technique, Dan Jing Middle Volume. You choose Walking on One's Own Secret Technique. Due to his physical constitution, his cultivation talent was enhanced, boosting his comprehension of the secret techniques. Xingzi by Jing Jie, first glimpse into the sect scriptures. Chu Xiu finished his task and stood up. His secret technique had successfully broken through. It was time to gather soul-anchoring fruits. He approached the target. Judging by its color, the fruit wasn't ripe yet. The system clicked its tongue in regret. Host, your Chian value is very low, and that soul-cherishing fruit isn't ripe yet. You won't easily win a fight against that giant python, but you didn't guess that the soul-cherishing fruit was still alive. What a tragedy, Su-Hyu sneered. Not ready yet? Could it be that this seat has no other options? System, you dare to curse me? Are you planning? You are truly ruthless, befitting of the title of Su Lao Ma. As night fell, fireflies filled the sky. Su-Hyu sat in a corner, picking herbs. A young man and a young woman walked over to greet him. Senior brother, are you here too? Behind them were 3 or 4 more people. Chen Mofan, leading the group, spoke first. Senior brother Chu Xiu, you are alone here. Chu Xiu indifferently turned around. Have you all also come to hunt me down? Chen Mofan forced a smile and transmitted his voice to the group. Suppress your killing intent. Don't let him notice. This guy is incredibly fast. Even if he tries to escape, we won't be able to stop him. We must hold him here and wait for reinforcements to surround and kill him. The disciples readily obeyed. Chen Mofan appeared innocent. Senior brother Chu Xiu, what does this mean? Randomly killing fellow disciples is a grave offense. Could it be, Senior brother Chu, that someone wants to assassinate you? The purple-haired girl stepped forward, her face etched with concern, asking, who would dare to hunt down a true disciple? Tell us who is still pursuing you, perhaps we can help. Su-Hyu sighed. I don't know who it is, but there are many people who want to kill me. She took his hand, offering, brother, would you like to join us? If you are ever pursued, we can help you. My companion agrees. With several of us here, no one would dare attack you. Chu Xiu scoffed inwardly. Looking at these faces putting on a show, he thought. Good, they're all Oscar-worthy actors. But this junior sister is quite pretty. The others inwardly smirked. No need to worry, this guy is just a lecherous do-gooder. He's actually concerned about our safety. How laughable. He probably won't even know how he died, considering we're the ones hunting him down. Can't blame him though, our acting was just too convincing. Chen Mo Fan continued. Brother So, you're a genius who shattered the ancient limits. You're destined to be the foundation of our Tai Su Holy Land. We can all die, but you can't. If you die, the Holy Land will suffer a huge loss. Brother So, you should let us stay and help you. So Xiu was happy to agree with them. Such great righteousness, I feel very moved. In that case, I'll agree. The girl stepped closer to her brother. Brother, you don't have to be like this. We are all family of the Holy Land. Her full breasts brushed against his arm. So Xiu led the way. This way, please. This is a whole roasted goat, specially prepared for me by Xinyan Shimi before we entered the secret realm. I was feeling a bit sad about eating it all by myself, but luckily I met you all here. Just in time, I can take it out of my storage pouch. The crowd stared in astonishment. Chu Xiu cordially poured wine for her. Meeting each other is fate. Everyone please eat and drink freely. Chen Mofan said, Senior brother Chu Xiu, you don't need to be so polite. He led the way, taking the first sip of wine. She sighed in relief. It seemed the wine wasn't poisoned. Chen Mo Fan was tipsy, praising the wine. So Xiu laughed happily. Right? This is good wine. My master took it from the wine cellar. I snuck it out. Little brother, eat some roast mutton, take a big bite of meat, drink a big gulp of wine. That's a real man. Another voice chimed in. Senior brother, this meat isn't bad. If you like it, eat a little more. If you don't have enough, there's still some left in your room. With their bellies full and the fire burned down to embers, only a pile of dry firewood remained. So Xiu lowered his head and said, Everyone, Qin Mufan told me to speak. His face was terrifyingly grim. Xiao Yifeng and Jianling Yun, they have done so much for you. How could you ruthlessly kill me like this? The group immediately became alert. Chen Mofan picked up his weapon. When did you notice? He flew towards Suo Xiu, of course, after you all appeared. He calmly unleashed his secret technique. Chen Mofan's hammer slammed down, the ground cracked. Xiaohui dodged lightly. Then his legs exploded with renewed strength. Might as well check out my own Purple Mansion Divine Bridge. Strange patterns appeared on their bodies. She shouted, You poisoned the wine? Chu Xiu smirked. My poison doesn't contain alcohol. The system laughed out loud. Our poison is absolutely authentic. There's no risk at all. Do you want to live? I can give you a chance. Chen Mofan trembled. Chu Xiu, what do you want us to do? He handed her an envelope. Follow the instructions above. There are 10 antidote pills in the medicine bottle, enough to keep you safe for 3 days. After the mission is complete, I will remove the poison. She gripped it tightly. How do we know you will actually remove the poison after the mission is complete? Chu Xiu raised 3 fingers. I can swear on my Shizun's name. If I, Chu Xiu, am lying, may the heavens curse my Shizun to never advance in cultivation. At this moment, Qi Mengdai was sitting in the dining room, suddenly sneezing. Was someone talking bad about her? Over here, they still don't believe us. We've done it. Hope you don't break your promise. Chu Xiu beckoned the boat forward. I, Chu Xiu, have said what I would do. I only await good news from the 5 of you. A group of people were gathered in the forest. This young man is Yan Xiao, the true disciple of the Heavenly Sword Peak. He is at the peak of the 9th layer of the Divine Path. Chen Mufan, what's wrong with you? How could you let Sa Xiu escape? Chen Mufan bowed apologetically. Everyone, please calm down and let me explain. Just an hour ago, we encountered Chu Xiu here, but he ran away upon seeing us. His speed was incredibly fast, and we simply couldn't catch up. Yan Xiao said suspiciously, then why did you call us over here? Chen Mo Fan held a scroll. I'll send people to collect the love fruit. He sneered inwardly. This Chen Mufan is still as childish as he used to be. He wants us to exert ourselves and yet he wants another 10% on top of that. He's dreaming. Chu Xiu sat in the distance, watching them. So, they finally arrived. Quite a crowd, too. The group reached the place where the spirit of the UK was. This fog blocks our divine sense. Everyone, don't spread out too far. The silver-haired girl confidently said. Don't worry, Xixiang. Inside his heart, a monstrous fetus was taking shape. The air around it was heavy with darkness. Everyone was excited. It was the love fruit. It really was the love fruit. This was great. If I could eat this love fruit, I could directly enter the divine transformation realm. If I sold it, I could sell it for tens of thousands of divine yuan stones. Getting rich. Am about to get rich. Yan Xiao stroked his chin and raised a hand to address the crowd. Everyone, don't be hasty. The color of this demon fruit seems off. I'm afraid it's not ripe yet. I once saw a picture of a ripe soul infant demon fruit in an ancient text. After ripening, it turns red and emits a divine aura. Consuming an unripe fruit will lead to death from demonic qi devouring the brain. The blue-haired girl worried. How can this be good? Our time in this desolate, wild land is limited. We can't wait for it to ripen naturally. Should we just pick it now and deal with the consequences later? At this moment, a streak of red qi approached them. The air around was filled with an ominous red. Red spots were sticking to everyone here. She covered her mouth, furrowed her brows. An illusion array? How could this be? The name behind had gone mad, tearing at itself. He pinned her down, squeezing her throat. You killed that beast, you killed my mother. Kill, kill, kill. The crowd went wild, slaughtering each other. I considered you a brother, yet you stole my woman. Die. This is my treasure, you are unworthy of it. Yan Xiao shrieked in panic. No! Don't do this! Everyone stop! A deathly stillness hung in the air. Rivers of blood flowed. His spirit weapon emitted terrifying shrieks. Half an hour later, the chaos ended. Chu Su stepped down. Corpses littered the ground. Who would have thought that this love fruit would ripen by absorbing the life essence of humans? The fruit is almost ripe, just a bit more blood essence, and it will be fully mature. He sighed. Forget it. I'm not short of a few days. This place is too dangerous. I'll leave first and then figure things out. Down the mountain, the waiting crowd began to grow anxious. Brother Qin, something must have happened on the mountain, right? Why is it suddenly so quiet? Brother Yan, did something happen to them too? Chen Mofan stroked his chin. The soul-attracting fruit is not something ordinary people can pick. It's good we didn't go up the mountain. She was a little worried, but since we didn't get the soul-attracting fruit, can So Xiu detoxify us? At this moment, Chu Xiu appeared. Are you not going up the mountain? Chen Mofan was frightened. Senior brother, we followed your instructions and searched for someone to climb the mountain and pick the Yaogua. Although we failed to obtain the fruit, we did our best. We hope you can detoxify us. Chu Xiu raised an eyebrow. These cowardly people not only failed to harvest the demon fruit but also left their senior brothers and sisters to die in the wilderness. Now, they have the audacity to demand credit. Just as they were about to speak, something approached them. Chu Xiu sensed demonic energy. He turned and asked, Are these demonic qi brought here by you? Chen Mofan hastily denied. No. How could we possibly know any demon race? A horde of ferocious-looking demons, wielding giant hammers and riding mad bulls, charged towards them with bloodshot eyes. Someone yelled, "Humans! We found more humans! Kill them for the tribe, for freedom." Chu Xiu was cautious. It had been more than 10 days since they entered the secret realm, and this was the first time they had encountered a demon. Judging from the situation, these foreign races seemed to be specifically hunting them down. He immediately used a secret movement technique. He leaped into the air with his sword, striking at the demon beast. The people below whispered, "How fast!" A single, effortless swing claimed the life of a man and an ox. The demon race was terrified. This battle power, just relying on a few of us, we could not even stand a chance. So Xiu pointed his sword at the fallen demon, saying, "Why have you demons suddenly appeared here?" "It's stubborn, I won't say." His face turned cold. He remained silent. "Very well. I will slowly execute you all until someone breaks." His tone suddenly shifted. "I will speak. We were suppressed by Supreme Emperor Taisu's Dao in the wild demon's secret realm. We received orders from a great Bainan realm demon to ambush you here." He pondered. "A great Bainan stage demon? It seemed this one you secret realm was quite dangerous." Chu Xiu coldly and decisively cut down the leader with his sword. It collapsed, blood gushing everywhere, its life extinguished. The demon cultivators couldn't believe it. How could Nyogu just disappear like that? Suo Xiu turned and looked at the people behind him. "Chinshudi, leave the rest of the little demons to you. With your strength, dealing with them shouldn't be a problem, right?" The girl hesitated. "Could you help us with the poison first?" He tossed them a white medicine bottle. "If you hadn't reminded me, I would have forgotten. Chu Xiu always keeps his word. Take it." He boarded his boat and left. Chu Xiu said, "I'll take my leave now. You're all on your own." The Yao laughed delightedly. The strongest fighter was gone, and the rest were poisoned. Their bloodshot eyes glowed, surrounding Chen Mo Fan and his group. "This is perfect for us. Kill them, for the tribe, for freedom." Pighead pinned the girl down, his voice lecherous. "This human girl is quite beautiful. Don't worry, this pig brother won't hurt you." Chu Xiu leisurely flew on his boat. His soul-nourishing fruit still needed 2 more days to ripen. What should he do during these 2 days? He suddenly heard someone say, "This is the place." Chu Xiu looked down, his voice echoing. Outside the cave, Yi Fan exclaimed excitedly, "I found it! We're finally here! This is the authentic Yao Emperor's treasury! The treasure we're here for." Even so, Yu has to admit, it's truly unbelievable. The main character's aura is simply divine. He hid behind the rock, laughing wickedly, but unfortunately, he ran into me. Like an invisible gust of wind, Chu Xiu sped inside. "Many thanks, Yi Xiong. This Chu will scout the path ahead for you." A feeling of something passing by, Yi Fan looked around but saw nothing. Chu Xiu stood inside the cave. The scenery was dazzling and beautiful, shimmering with gemstones all around. Above him were stalactites. He took the stalactite milk container. This versatile stalactite milk is exorbitantly priced, and collecting it could earn him a small fortune. These heavenly treasures are too precious to ignore. Mystical herbs, earth-grade herbs, heaven-grade herbs. The system announcements of rising fortune continuously rang out. A minute later, Chu Xiu finished collecting. "System, is my luck growing so fast because I severed the protagonist Yi Fan's fortuitous encounter?" "You guessed correctly." The system chuckled. "Host, this is absorbing luck from others. If the parasite hadn't stolen it, if Yi Fan had harvested these treasures, he would have certainly soared to great heights." Suo Xiu held the heavy bag in his hand, and he also laughed along. Over 1,000 roots of earthly grade spirit herbs, over 100 heavenly grade spirit herbs, 11 immortal grade ones, 3 jade bottles of 10,000 year stone milk. Selling these, even a pig could ascend to the clouds. He saw something in the corner. 2 round, colorful objects were placed there. 1 green, 1 red, dazzlingly bright. "That, my friend, is the best part of this treasure trove." Looking up, Chu Xiu saw a white snake sleeping. Here, a high-level, blooming white serpent of Bayan hides. Apparently, this grand serpent is the guardian of the treasure, and must not be provoked. Suddenly, tremors rippled through the surroundings. Looking back, he saw Yi Fan had stepped on something. He scratched his head and greeted Suo Xiu. "What a coincidence that we meet again. I just happened to have discovered a treasure here." His foot was stepping on something it shouldn't be. Chu Xiu nearly went mad. That guy had actually activated the white serpent's mechanism. The white snake was awakened. It opened its crimson eyes and looked at the 2 people. It opened its ferocious crimson maw, as if to devour them both. Suo Xiu quickly took out the 2 treasures from above. It wasn't safe to stay here for long, they had to leave quickly. He snatched the items and vanished into the air, leaving Yifan to fight alone. Damn it. What rotten luck. Outside Yifeng Pavilion, the girls were cultivating. Old Huang rushed in with alarming news. A large number of life tokens belonging to disciples who entered the wild demon's secret realm have shattered. Qi Mengdai asked in a panic. How many are broken? Old man Huang replied, trembling. 775, all broken. She ran to him and asked if Chu Xiu's soul token was still intact. Fortunately, it wasn't broken. She pondered deeply. Something big must have happened in the wild beast's secret realm. So many disciples died. This has never happened before. She felt confused. It was strange how she worried about that rogue disciple. It would be better if he died. Tai Suzy calmly said. Don't rush, let me use the illusionary eye to take a look. A bright green circle appeared. 4 bat Trandu surrounded it. The formation was complex. Several eyes appeared in the desolate spirit realm, watching everything nearby. The people below looked up. Was someone outside observing the secret realm? The demon race also wondered, does the human race want to attack us? I don't want to die. His gaze fell upon the demon clan's headquarters. Standing atop Mount Masha Bianjing Feng, she confidently declared. There's no need to worry. No one can penetrate this desolate, mystical realm. Even a holy king wouldn't be able to. The human race can only watch us from the outside, powerless to do anything. It grinned smugly. If they want to watch, then let them watch us slaughter the humans. Masa commanded all the nearby Yao race, kill all the human race. For leaving the secret realm, for regaining freedom, charge. He held the jade mirror treasure in his hand, a little surprised. This thing actually had a reaction. It seems the other half of the mirror has appeared in the world. If I can obtain the other half and combine them into one, I can break through to the Dao Palace realm. The screen displayed a picture of the Lai clan preparing for rebellion. Everyone felt a bit anxious. That great demon, you say? Has it reached the peak of the Nirvana realm? Isn't the secret realm bound by realm restrictions? Qi Mengdai spoke with Tai Suzy. The Holy Lord needs to quickly comprehend the secrets of the transmission light gate so the disciples can return soon. Knowing her intention, Tai Suzy teased. Are you worried that your disciple might meet with misfortune? She blushed and turned away. This venerable one is far from worried about that rebellious disciple. I am only concerned for the other disciples. Tai Suzy reassured her, don't worry, this venerable one has already made arrangements. In 2 days at most, the transmission light gate will be able to open a passage to the secret realm. Mo Fei Yen added yes. If you can't even persevere for 2 days, then you will have disappointed us greatly. Qi Mengdai was worried, not knowing where that rebellious disciple was. Overcome with a mix of kindness and anger, she thought it would be best if they had been swallowed by a demonic beast. In the desolate and treacherous wilderness of the spirit beast sanctuary, hordes of ferocious beasts were on the relentless pursuit. Su Ruxue, a Yifeng sect disciple, carried an unconscious person on her back. Chu Xiu looked down from above. If he saw death and did not intervene, wouldn't his plan to become a Xingzi crumble? He drew his sword. Consider yourself lucky. In a flash, Chu Xiu stood before them. Su Ruxue looked over in astonishment. Standing before her was. Chu Xiu glanced at her. I came to help you out of this predicament. She was slightly surprised. Rumor had it that he was the one who reached the summit of the Tai Su God Tower, Chu Xiu, but he was only at the peak of the Luanhai realm. The weakest of the Yaozu behind him were all at the Xinqiao realm. He couldn't defeat these Yao, charging in meant certain death. Chu Xiu didn't care. He charged into the fray with relish. Su Ruxue screamed. Stop! But in a blink of an eye, the scene before her stunned her. Su who easily severed the heads of each demon beast. He swung his sword coldly, showing no weakness. Chu Xiu stood tall and uninjured. Su Ruxue sighed, impressed by senior brother Chu's remarkable battle tactics. Calling him a reincarnated demon god wouldn't be an exaggeration. After the fight, he turned to Su Ruxue and asked, Junior sister, are you alright? She quickly expressed her immense gratitude for his help. Chu Xiu took out the earth-grade Yinxinji and gave it to her. Both of you are seriously injured, quickly drink the healing medicine. Su Ruxue immediately refused. No, senior brother, this medicine is too precious. Ruxue doesn't dare to accept it. He told her there was no need to be polite. The demon race was currently wreaking havoc, dangers abounded, and if her injuries weren't treated quickly, a great calamity could occur. She needed to think of herself. At most, she could repay him for the precious medicine after they got out. Su Ruxue didn't refuse anymore. She would definitely repay him for this favor. Su Yu continued to instruct her. The outside world must have discovered the chaos within the secret realm. They would definitely activate the transmission portal again for everyone to leave. Even though the two sisters had consumed the elixir, they would still need some time to recover. It would be better to go to the transmission square and wait for the portal to reactivate. She wondered why he wasn't going with them. It turned out he had some personal matters to attend to. Afterward, he bid them farewell. So, who discovered that the half-piece of starstone in his chest was vibrating even more intensely. To be safe, he had to quickly harvest the soulmate fruit and wait for the right opportunity to increase his cultivation. At Taisu Plaza, the image of Chu Xiu assisting two people, Su Rishue, was praised by the masses. Brother Chu Xiu is a ruthless person, killing the demon clan members, leaving them powerless to resist. Senior brother Chu Xiu casually giving away a genuine earth-grade medicinal treasure. It's truly enviable. Two girls blushed as they discussed. Do you think senior brother Chu Xiu and senior sister Ru Shui are a good match? Taisu also praised Chu Xiu's actions. He is a kind person. His extraordinary talent manifested in the secret realm is quite good. Chi Meng Dai stared at the light above in astonishment. What in the world was he thinking, making her worry so much? Huangyao secret realm. Two people arrived at Ima Mountain, seeking the soul-binding fruit in Yaogua. If we obtain this fruit, our cultivation will ascend to the divine ability realm. The man in red suddenly noticed footsteps behind him. The person who arrived was Chu Xiu. He folded his arms behind his back and smiled amiably. As expected, you two know me. I am Chu Xiu. May I ask why you two are here? The two figures in blue and red robes cracked sinister smiles. They silently transmitted their thoughts to each other. The demonic energy here is incredibly strong. If we approach recklessly, we might encounter danger. It would be better to let Sahu pick the demonic fruit for us. Agreed? Once he gets the fruit, we'll split it evenly. We can't beat him one-on-one, but 2 against 1, victory is guaranteed. The man in blue asked first. Chu Xiu, so you've also seen the soul of the demon fruit? This demon fruit is priceless, incredibly precious. How about you go fetch it, and the 3 of us split it evenly? So Xiu flatly refused. The two instantly became enraged. You stand there, ignorant of the consequences, forcing us to take action. Help us pick it honestly, and maybe we can spare your life. The man in red didn't want to waste any more time. Let's use the 3rd rank 4 symbols formation to bind him first. 2 figures confidently brandished their weapons, their voices laced with provocation. Chu Xiu, you're only at the Lunhai realm, what waves do you think you can make? Zhen used the 4 elements binding formation to attack first. So Hu channeled his power, creating a magical circle. The man also stepped forward, 2 weapons in his hands. He had gotten very close to his brother. So Xiu calmly used his secret technique. He casually picked up his sword. A fatal blow, cold and swift, ended the life of the man in red. The man in blue cried out in despair. Chu Xiu's eyes lit up. He wasn't finished yet. This time, a sword pierced through the man in green. Before he died, I added, in your next life, don't be a hypocritical villain. The battle ended, both arrogant warriors fell. His soul devoured our flesh and blood. Finally, Shuo obtained a luscious red demon fruit. This soul-anchoring fruit is truly a rare find. I wonder how long it will take to cultivate another one. The system proudly provided more information. Let this system tell you, host, unfortunately, this place's future holds no more Hunan demons. There will be no more Hunan demons here. For severing their roots and achieving this feat, you are rewarded with 500 breakthrough points. Host, are you about to break through to the 10th layer of the Lunhai? There's some news, either good nor bad. This system wants to remind you. So who told it to hurry up and speak. Your second breakthrough to the extreme realm will bring a tribulation of lightning. This news struck him like a bolt from the blue. So Hugh questioned angrily. You're not mistaken, are you? Under normal circumstances, isn't it only the Ho Xiaoxing who are subjected to the lightning tribulation? Why am I so early? The system is definitely not wrong. The statistics have analyzed a total of 300 billion instances, and the host tribulation rate is 99.99999%. Perhaps it is because the host's cultivation level is excessively powerful. In short, if you can withstand it, you will become even stronger. If not, you may die. A moment later, Chu Xiu entered the ancient forest. He touched his chest, sensing. Yes, the closer he got in this direction, the more intensely the Shijing vibrated. The other half of the Shijing must have appeared. A deadly purple chi was approaching, putting him on high alert. A horde of Yao raced out, screaming and killing. Masha sneered. The reaction of the stone mirror has increased again. The person holding the other half of the stone mirror has come to the Stargate himself. Chu Xiu, hiding behind a rock and holding the stone mirror, felt a sense of danger. Damn it, is this the demon race's headquarters? The stone mirror is reacting so strongly. Could the person holding the other half of the mirror be the legendary demon leader? He turned back and asked the system again. Are you sure I will encounter a tribulation? Is it 100% certain? Su-Hu's smile turned dangerous. He boarded the flying ship and flew to the teleportation square. The crowd below was in despair. Senior brother, please, everyone, save our senior brother. Does anyone have hemostatic medicine or protective pills? When can we go home? Even Su-Hu had to click his tongue. Many people were injured by the demonic beast clan. We were determined to catch them all in one net, but we didn't expect them to be more vicious than we thought. The system next to him reminded him, Host, this only shows that you still need to improve, but now is not the time to think about this. You are currently being hunted by the demonic beast king. And you are also facing a heavenly tribulation. How are you going to deal with this? He calmly said to it. In his heart he understood, no need to worry. From afar, a curious crowd of people was chasing after them. The powerful army, their overwhelming aura causing fear in everyone. The Yao clan is chasing after us, and there are too many of them. The leader, Masha, was arrogantly waving her crystal mirror around. The power of the Shijing Islands is attacking everyone around us. This Yao's chi is at least at the late Bayan realm. We are no match for him. He can even cut through the D-Zun Grand Formation. The Shijing mirror in his hand, could it be a D-Chi? Masha arrogantly declared. Renzu, do you choose death or life? If you wish to live, hand over the one possessing the stone mirror fragment. Su-Hu walked out from the crowd, holding up the jade token. Is this what you're looking for? At the same time, in Taisu Square, everyone gathered to watch the spectacle. The girls anxiously watched the screen. Su-Xiu, the demon race, was looking for him. It was him who led the demon race here, putting all the disciples in danger. Chimengnai said that, but in her heart she didn't understand. Why did that rebellious disciple have to do that? With the situation as it was, there were only two possibilities. Either he was pushed out by the other disciples, or he sacrificed himself, taking the initiative. But regardless of the situation, the result remained the same. With his current strength, he couldn't possibly defeat the Yaozi leader. He wouldn't use his trump card from back then to survive, would he? If that's the case, the Huan Yao secret realm would definitely be destroyed. Back to the transmission square. The man behind Chu-Xiu sneered. You're the true inheritor, senior brother. Are you still unwilling to sacrifice yourself for us, your junior brother and sister, at this point? Su-Hu angrily yelled at him. Do you really want to sacrifice S? Who? S who? Brother? He laughed, pretending to be wronged. S? Ruxue, what you said is too much. S who? Brother sacrificed himself for the greater good, isn't it right, S? Who? Brother? Su-Ruxue stepped forward, standing in front of Su-Yu. Using her slender frame to block the gazes of everyone, she pointed her hand towards the outside, looking at the people, her voice cold as she said, Do you think sacrificing Brother Su-Yu to those demon beasts will make them let us go? Faced with danger, instead of fighting together, you want to push your fellow disciples out. Such a cowardly act will only make the demon beasts look down on us human cultivators even more. The group. Upon hearing her words, all looked ashamed. Some even lowered their heads, unable to face her. This human farce made Masha chuckle. I'll give you 50 more breaths. If he doesn't come out, we'll go in. Hearing this, the crowd immediately became chaotic, their faces filled with terror. No, I don't want to die. Someone save us. Senior brother Chu-Xiu, save us, you can't be so heartless. As long as you go out, the Yao race won't harm us. Su-Ruxue's eyes were filled with disappointment. Someone patted her shoulder. She turned her head to look. She was met with the familiar face of So-Xiu. Her eyes were red-rimmed, and she choked out his name. So-Xiu thanked her. In such a situation, she was still willing to speak for him. He was very grateful. As for what happened next, he would take care of it. He then activated his secret technique, swiftly leaving the crowded area and heading towards Masha's location. Looking through the crystalline lens, Chimengnai murmured, Could Chu-Xiu really be planning to face the Yao clan alone? Is this your choice? Her face showed no signs of worry, but her hand under her skirt clenched tightly. Su-Hu's steps approached Masa. Its crimson pupils stared directly into his eyes. You humans aren't bad, braver than the others. Chu-Xiu didn't answer. He simply took a box out of his storage pouch and opened the lid. Inside was his beloved soul, ripe and ready. Masha's eyes turned greedy. Quickly snatch the love-attracting fruit from his hand and bring it to me. You'll be rewarded if you succeed. A horde of frenzied demon beasts charged at Su-Hu. Ignoring them, Chu-Xiu nonchalantly took a bite. He even complimented the taste, his spirit meridians breaking through a new realm. System notification. Detected that your cultivation technique is the ancient Holy Body Sutra. It is estimated that it will cost 10,000 breakthrough points. This breakthrough will consume 10,000 breakthrough points. Your Huangushinti has transformed. Your Luanhai realm has reached peak sublimation, ascending straight to the 9th level of Shitong. Suju, you are about to face the cleansing Legia. Please prepare yourself. The Legia will descend in 10 breaths. Accompanying this were a series of lightning strikes preparing to descend from the heavens. Chu Xiu closed his eyes, temporarily putting the reward aside, and began to comprehend the Tao scripture. His entire body's qi unceasingly increased. The thunder roared, shaking the heavens and the earth. Suo, whose entire body was transformed, radiating a blinding light. He sneered, his lips curling into a cruel smile, and said, "Taste the lightning tribulation!" A golden streak of light accompanied by a terrifying clap of thunder descended, blasting away all the surrounding demonic beasts. Having just endured a lightning tribulation, his body covered in wounds, Chu Xiu was ambushed by Masha. She swung her sword, intending to attack him from behind. It could be said that her timing for the attack was impeccable. Even if he possessed unparalleled speed, he couldn't withstand this blow head-on. He gripped his sword tightly. 2 swords clashed, emitting a chilling clang. With a single strike, Masa's saber was cleaved in 2. His eyes widened in disbelief, struggling to comprehend the scene before him. The rooster gaped in amazement. "Kid, you're good!" Masa nearly went mad. His muscles bulged, and rage consumed him. Dangerous red chi enveloped his entire body. It lunged forward. Chu Xiu was coldly cut across the chest by a sword. His heroic image was imprinted in the minds of the onlookers. Shirtless, with tattered pants, long flowing hair like a waterfall, and a slender, well-proportioned, muscular physique. Heroic, valiant, and victorious. The crowd watching couldn't help but exclaim. He was truly powerful. Su Hushi Huing was too strong. He single-handedly wiped out the entire demon race. I remember the leader of the demon race was a non-compete cultivator, yet he couldn't even resist in the hands of Su Hushi Huing. At Taizu Square, everyone whispered amongst themselves. Chu Xiu used tribulation lightning to destroy the Yao race? I have never seen such a terrifying lightning tribulation. How could he do that? Why can he already attract a lightning tribulation when he is only at the Luanhai realm? Tai Suzi looked at the person beside him. Meng Dai, did you see that? Golden blood, golden sea of consciousness, chaotic sound of the bell, strange phenomenon. Suo Xiu possesses the legendary ancient sacred body. So that's why his cultivation speed was so slow at the beginning. It was because he was affected by the sacred body. Tai Suzi made a decision. Hearing from the system notification, Chu Xiu could break the curse of the holy body and cultivate alone, which was truly astonishing. The Holy Land hadn't chosen a Holy Son yet. After Chu Xiu returned, they would let him be the Holy Son of Tai Su. Chi Meng Dai was surprised. Tai Suzi asked, "You don't agree?" Chi Meng Dai immediately covered her mouth and said, "No. This matter concerns the Holy Son, so it should be decided upon by the peak masters together. Moreover, his current cultivation level is too low. I'm afraid it will cause dissatisfaction among the other peak masters." She felt an unbearable surge of anger. A scoundrel like him, ascending to the position of Xingzi? Where was justice? Where was the law? On the contrary, Tai Suzi was very calm. This makes sense, but given what Su Xiu showed today in the secret realm, other sect leaders would likely not reject my proposal. Besides, his character is not bad, he's a good kid. Chi Mengnai blushed and frowned. Benevolent? You haven't seen how he treats me yet. At the transmission Song Square, Su, who just finished the battle, his body a little tired. He and the chicken both breathed a sigh of relief. Su Ru Shui ran over worriedly. "Brother, are you okay?" He smiled and said to her, "Shimmy, please don't worry. I'm fine." Yifan watched from the side, sighing inwardly. Truly powerful, he thought. I've become just another face in the crowd. The crowd cheered excitedly. The demon beasts have all been killed by Senior Brother Su. Senior Brother Su is invincible. Seeing the snake on Yifan's shoulder, Su He curiously asked, "Brother Yi, what is that on your shoulder?" He chuckled. "Just another spirit beast tamed." So Xiu furrowed his brow. "You mean that gigantic python from the museum? You actually tamed it? No wonder you're the protagonist, born under lucky stars. I swept away your destiny, yet you still managed to get a spirit beast." Yifan also asked about the golden chicken. "What's on your shoulder?" "It's called golden chicken, just as you see, a chicken, barely considered a pet." The chicken was furious. "Damn it, you little brat, show some respect. Who allowed you to name me? Besides, you're the chicken, Your whole family is chickens! He coldly choked it, silencing it, causing Yihuan to chuckle. Yifan had never seen such a bizarre chicken. Truly an interesting little creature. Changing the subject, he said. Later, when the teleportation formation is opened, we should still rest a bit and prepare to return to the Holy Land. 3 days later, in the sacred grounds of the Sohu's cave. He was focused on cultivating. The reward from the system for his breakthrough was still waiting to be claimed. The system replied. Yes, host. A scan has confirmed your breakthrough to a greater realm, granting you a special reward. The Primordial Saint Physique Cultivation Method Part 1. The Ancient Desolate Holy Body Cultivation Method, Upper E Rank, Immortal Grade Cultivation Technique. Cultivating this method can bring the Ancient Desolate Holy Body to the minor completion stage. Do you want to accept the cultivation method now? This system has detected that your desolate ancient saint physique still has room for improvement. Do you wish to take this opportunity to further break through? Chu Xiu agreed. He rubbed his forehead in pain. Breaking through to the saint body and breaking through in cultivation were truly different. This feeling of being sucked dry was truly uncomfortable. He would end his seclusion here for today. System notification. Cultivation interrupted. Total saint body cultivation consumed 1 million breakthrough points. He consumed a mountain of medicinal pills to replenish his strength. It seems that after breaking through to the saint realm, he'll need to prepare some more precious elixirs and immortal herbs. Otherwise, he might be drained dry until death. Suishio looked up at the prism above. The stone mirror has already been refined. System, do you know how to use this mirror? Host, you have obtained a treasure. This stone mirror is of an extremely high level, at least a Saint King artifact, perhaps even a quasi-emperor artifact, but it is not yet complete. The stone mirror has 2 main functions. First, the clear light domain suppresses enemies, reducing their movement speed and potentially immobilizing them. Function 2, information communication. Host can use a high-grade spirit stone to conduct a test. He curiously carried it out. A notification appeared on the prism. Rank 6 welcomes you to Honghuang. Your rank is still ahead of the others, granting you powers beyond the ordinary. You are now granted access to the following free features: Video Square Chat, Private Trading Space, Cosmic Martial Arts Arena, Secret Realm, Sacred Land, Cultivation, and Battlefield of 10,000 Races. Other features are pending unlock. If you wish to activate the teleportation function, it will consume a significant amount of energy. Please prepare Spirit Stones or Divine Spirit Stones. He grinned, a thrill coursing through him. It seemed he had truly stumbled upon something incredibly potent. Soashio clicked the Talk button. The prism shifted again. Welcome to Chat Room 17. Users online 6. Jin Yang Clan. Jin Qingyang, a vassal of the Dragon Horse Clan, pursued me for 3 days and nights. A powerful spatial mage helped me escape. A list of unfamiliar names appeared. I've never heard of these races. He picked up the magnifying glass and studied it. Where was the Tai Mang Taiping Plain? Where was the Honghuang? The Tian Kong continent didn't have any places like that. Outside the door, a sudden knock came from Dao Yu. Suhu's cave mansion, brightly illuminated by lanterns. Tao Yao happily held the chicken in her hands. The chicken was truly adorable. The impudent chicken threatened, Nu Rinche Teat, be more polite to this Grand Master, or I will devour you. She covered her mouth, giggling. Such a small human wants to eat me? The rooster became even angrier. After I achieve Dao, I'll enslave this foolish woman and make that brat Chu Xiu my mount. Tao Yao ignored it and turned to ask Chu Xiu, Senior brother, you have finished your closed-door cultivation. I heard you obtained the spirit pet, so I came to see it. I didn't expect it to be so interesting. Where did you subdue this spirit pet? The chicken flapped its wings continuously, showing its anger. Damn it, you dog man and woman are too much. This grandpa is not a spirit pet. He coldly tossed it away. Don't bother with this rotten chicken. Little sister Dao, what brings you here to find me? Her voice was sweet. Senior brother, so. Many thanks for your hospitality, senior brother. Tao Yao has a somewhat presumptuous request. If you have free time, senior brother, would you be willing to share your experiences within the secret realm with the junior sisters? Everyone is very eager to hear about it. He agreed to her request. Dao Yu tucked a handkerchief into his chest. Her face flushed, she stammered. This is Dao Yao's gift, please accept it, senior brother. Chu Xiu hadn't even had time to process what had happened when she said her goodbyes. It's getting late, senior brother. You should rest. He brought the handkerchief to his nose and sniffed. The scent of peach blossoms? This face is intoxicated by this fragrance. Tao Yao's shimmy is truly thoughtful, but compared to Shizhuan's scent, it's still a bit lacking. Later, he remembered the golden chicken. He almost forgot. The chicken trembled and asked, "What are you planning to do, this old master?" He smiled sinisterly. "You still haven't told this seat what you are, and what is the relationship between your conceiving of the divine egg and the Shijing?" The golden chicken replied cautiously. "Based on the memory of the inheritance, it seems I am a divine beast of the chicken clan. As for that stone mirror, I don't know if it's related." Soshio stared at it, pondering. "You are indeed a Shinya. I was right all along. I'll leave you half the rabbit meat, eat it quickly." Huang Jin became arrogant. "Shinya is one of the royal families of the Yao clan, you better kneel down." Seeing that he wasn't going to do as it said, the chicken changed the subject. "Right, there was someone looking for you before, she saw you were in seclusion so she left." He was a little surprised that someone had been looking for him. "Someone was looking for me. Who was it?" The chicken replied, "I think her name was something like Hua Fei. She said she would meet you in the same place 3 days later." Soashio stroked his chin thoughtfully, his eyebrows raised, a hint of mischief in his eyes. He turned and walked towards the door.